I'm gonna
first.
mute you. I'm gonna mute you. Perfect. Perfect.
Chad, do you have anything to say?
I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts, obsession. I will not stop, no, I'm never second guessing. I got a God complex. Haters love to hate, but I never feel pressed. Got a lot on my plate, but I never get stressed. I'll take all the pressure like I'm acing this test. Tear it up like I'm Jason. I see the world like it's ready for the taking. I see this place like a game I'm playing. Straight to the bank to collect my payments.
He basically comes at you with the bat, you know, tell him to put it down, you know, spread, like, what are you going to do about it? Yeah. And then he just came at you, you shot him. Yeah. Okay. Call me a Call me a Call me a
I don't know how to stop. I just go till I drop. Whether it's working or shots, give it all that I got. You can watch me work in my element. Anyone in the way is irrelevant. Wanna cross me, cool, not intelligent. Cause I don't forget shit like an elephant. Go ahead and tempt me. Put it on the line and you'll come up empty. If I got time, I'm deadly. Never caught off guard, no, I'm always ready. I got a hand real steady. Look me in the eye and you'll see no hezzy. About to get real messy. I'll put you in a grave 6 feet like Kenny.
Call me a Call me a Call me a
I got a God complex. Haters love to hate, but I never feel pressed. Got a lot on my plate, but I never get stressed. I'll take all the pressure like I'm acing this test. Tear it up like I'm Jason. I see the world like it's ready for the taking. I see this place like a game I'm playing. Straight to the bank to collect my payments. No negotiations, it's my way, I was born impatient. And like a damn Freemason, I'll run this nation.
Call me a Call me a Call me a Call me a
I don't know how to stop. I just go till I drop. Whether it's working or shots, give it all that I got. You can watch me work in my element. Anyone in the way is irrelevant. Wanna cross me, cool, not intelligent. Cause I don't forget shit like an elephant. Go ahead and tempt me. Put it on the line and you'll come up empty. If I got time, I'm deadly. Never caught off guard, no, I'm always ready. I got a hand real steady. Look me in the eye and you'll see no hezzy. About to get real messy. I'll put you in a grave 6 feet like Kenny.
Call me a Call me a Call me a
Hello, 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 hello. How's it going? Everybody, how you doing?
Hey,
Hey, let me start my camera. Hey.
I'm going to take myself down here. I didn't even know I was up here.
Well, thank you. Oh, that just looked like I was ramming my face into the damn computer. How's it going, everybody? How y'all doing? It's good to see you guys. Oh, man. So I've been short-circuiting because y'all know I researched everything. This whole damn World Wide Web is mine. Ha 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 ha. And I own it. No, I don't. But with that being said, I totally watched. Actually, I had told you guys a while back that I had talked to a guy who has been researching into the Hamlin, Levitt, that whole rig over there, that whole whatever the hell that is. Well, that has I've always thought that plays into Tylee and JJ, Charles, Tammy, Joe. That's this is that. And so I know that it's confusing. It's hard to peg down one thing, especially when it comes to Lori and Chad, and it comes to Tim Ballard and Ruby and Jody, because they're all connected. I know this because my heart and my soul tell me that, because I find things that I'm like, there's that. That's it helps me fill in a bigger piece of the puzzle. And I do appreciate you guys for just dealing with the crap that we have to watch and listen to and consume. And, we have to practice self-care. Always, you more than anybody else. And so the best way to help any of us is to take care of ourselves. And I need to tell myself that, because life is kicking my ass right about now. Anyways, so I've really suck at the anyways and so and I'm like, you got to stop that, girl. I'm trying to break my cycle. I'm trying to break this, but it's hard. It's hard to break. What is that saying? I'm gonna mess it up. But it's good to see you guys. Did y'all get to watch? And I don't even know if I posted on the community wall, because I was kind of posting some things and I was just like, yeah, kind of manic about it because it gets not exciting, because it's horrible stuff. It is horrible. The more we learn, it's horrible. But I mean, it's like we already know. From my view, my perspective, I already know the ending, which is, okay, 3 members of my family are murdered. Okay. Now I'm just trying to find out what went on, how, all the stuff that we're never going to hear. Obviously, we're never going to hear it from Chad and Lori. And unless Chad's death penalty trial is like a big blowout, then I don't expect to learn all that much more. It's some damn Gadiant robbers. It is them. It's them. I knew it. I just didn't know what a Gadiant. I'd never heard Gadiant robber until I learned about Mormonism. That's what it is. And you are not enough. This goes hand in hand with today's program, because I can flip through any page in this hooker's book and I can find pain anywhere. I mean, just, it's there. Okay. It's there. Oh, pain. Yeah. Okay. Pain equals love. Pain equals good. Pain is good. Good feelings mean that, I don't even know. I consume enough bull crap. I do. Y'all know that. I think y'all do too. Especially if you hang around these parts. But, we're all just looking, we're all searching. And so right now, since I've been here, and we come and go, some of us come and go because life brings us somewhere else, and that's life. We just kind of are like ships passing in the night. So I appreciate the time that you do. Actually, you spend your time and you come here and you spend it with me, and Time is something you never get back. Tell it to my wrinkles, right? Never get back. And so thank you for choosing to spend your time here with me and this wonderful community, because that's what it is. Yay, live stream. So I sat down at my desk at 6:30 and I was like, okay, I'm ready. And I was like, oh crap, I didn't schedule it till 8:30. What the hell was I thinking? So I've just been sitting back here, still late. That's what I do. That's what I do. But so this book is going to, I kind of highlighted a few things because I don't too much give a shit about coloring in it. I would like to burn it, but I wouldn't have got my $14 worth, you know. So Jody, I figured it. I think we got it figured out, y'all. If I did post, I don't know if I did or not, so I can't even assume that I did. So, but I kind of want to know. It's a very triggering. It's a very triggering. What we'd have to go look at would be extremely triggering. It would be. I don't even know if it would stay up, but. And I really don't know how to handle it. And I've kind of spent the better half of my day trying to figure out the best way. Do I go and record it? Because it's a video. And do I go and record it? Do I go beep, 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 beep through everything? Or how do I do this? Can we handle that? What's the best approach? Is there another platform or somewhere? Because it's explicit and it is, you're just like, what in the actual, I don't want to cuss or nothing because I might be spending all those get out of jail card frees later. Get out of jail free cards. I said it backwards. Hey, from Memphis, Tennessee. How are you? Buttercat Paws. Hey, DJ. Hey, Trace. Yeah, welcome. Welcome. Hey, Hannah Walker. Hey, Language of Horses. I see you everywhere. I like it. I'm like, okay. This is why we get along. All of us, you know, we do kind of run across each other in other places. I think that's cool. I'm wheezing too. Oh, we had a little cold, not a cold spell, but it really for these parts, yeah, it's chilly. I had a couple windows open and had a little breeze going on. Still had my air running. I know. Just it wasn't that kind. It wasn't that chill yet. Hey, Beach Bum. Hey, SL Conley. I always want to say SLC. Only. Oh my gosh. As soon as I start talking on here, I get thirsty. Hey, Cindy Bullock. How are you? AJ, it's good to see you always. Wild Light Arts, good to see you. Good to have you here. And repeat over and over. Door Opinion, hey girl. Hey Agnes. Hey A Aguilar. How are you? Hey Carrie Ann. How's it going, girl? I hope you're doing good. I hope y'all are all doing good. We need to do some mental gymnastic exercises. Never mind. We already do. That's our exercise. That's our I don't even know what I don't really exercise, so I don't really even know what to call it. Denise, oh gosh, I'm a Kunas, and I would say Matt. I don't even know. How do I say that? Matto? Matu? I don't know. That's gonna bother me. Hey Angela. Hey Janelle, how are you? It's good to see you. So there's this guy that I talked to a while back that has been investigating, and he has a blog, and it's a Substack actually, which I have one now too. And I'm like, oh, I can do stuff here. Oh, okay. What do I write? You know, like I don't even know, but I think that's more up my alley than, because I hate editing videos. I hate being on video. I hate being on this microphone right here. I don't like. I'm critical. I'm hypercritical. I'm a girl with a past. I got bruises and scars. Most you can't see. And, you know, just like you. So it's hard to, I didn't set out to go be a YouTube entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? This just kind of happened, and which is beautiful, but it's also a pain in my derriere. This is not that, and it's like I'm shadow banned, or it's just nothing's. I don't know what's going on. I'm just like, nobody's seeing nothing, and I know I have to talk about a lot of crazy stuff, but it's like, well, look what I'm dealing with. They're all crazy, and they're all wild, and just woo out there. Got to reel them back in, but I do want to find out more answers to just my questions, just me as a human being. That's what I do. I want to learn. I want to see. I want to. It doesn't mean that I agree, because I can look anywhere. I look everywhere. I do, and that might freak some people out. They're probably like, "Oh my god," and I'm like, I don't just like sign on to that belief. So it's not just like one track mind. I take what I need. I leave the rest. I put a pin in it. If I need it, I access it later, and that's how my brain works. And it does like this. And so it's very hard to work around all this, especially I'm sure from the beginning, because I've felt this. It's just a huge impression that I've gotten over and over and over and over again. But initially, and this was before the kids were found, Tylee and JJ, I had a dream, and it was pretty intense dream. And it was my uncle, Charles, and he had told me, he said, for those of you who haven't heard, I know I say it a lot, and I'm like, I say that a lot, but it's just for those who haven't heard, or maybe it's just I don't know. It's just chew the fat. But he had told me that their deaths would, and this is weird, their deaths would uncover something far more dark, which is weird to say. I don't say those words, far more dark, and far more sinister. Their deaths would uncover something far more dark and far more sinister, and that they wouldn't be in vain. And I remember waking up from that, and I was like, like, okay. And I remember actually, I was like, what could be darker than zombies? Because that's when we had just heard zombies. I was like, what? And what? I would wake up, and that's when my schedule went bonkers. And I would just sleep whenever I still do that. More on a schedule, but not so much. Hey, detective's daughter. But so I got up, and so when I would wake up, let's just say mornings, even though it probably wouldn't, and I would, open my eyes, or, how you're coming to, and I would just be like, zombies? Real? Is that, like, did I dream that? Or is that, yeah, okay, yeah, so we're doing zombies. We're doing zombies, y'all. And here we are doing zombies, and whatever, whatever this is, we're doing it. We're damn doing it. I need to get a haircut. So I have this guy. Let me put my, oh, thank you, Donna. Donna's awesome. Okay, come on, share screen. Okay, it's being pokey. All right, there it is. I'm going to just show you his blog. And I just kind of look around. I just search. I don't care what labels it gives me, actually. As long as I get truth or peace, or, oh my gosh, it's blacking out. Come on, Peter. Let me make sure. Okay. Oh yeah, my Wi-Fi signal's on. Oh, here we go. I shouldn't be out of. Hold on. Okay, it went away. just sometimes what it is when you get low bandwidth. It took me a lot of years to figure that out. Okay. But I have a whole, what do you call it? Internet box thingy, router, whatever that thing is over there. And that gives me internet. And it's just all to me. It's just my computer. And so I'm only on it for whenever I come in here and do these with y'all. So I don't know. It eats up some internet or something. But yeah, totally Ballard, right? So I'm taking it. You've seen it. Oh, wait, I hit the wrong button. It like flew up. I'm being, hey. I know, right? I miss Winnie too. Where'd it go? Oh, right here. Yeah. Tim Ballard. Mm-hmm. And so when I told this to Jason, he's my first defense, right? If I can't get, like my idea or whatever, if I can't get him to even understand what I'm saying, then I'm just like, oh no, I got to figure this out. Or sometimes I'm like, oh my God, what I'm about to tell you is so, I just feel dumber for even for saying it, and then dumbing your ears and having you live, we can never get this time back. But sometimes when you say things and you talk them out, it helps me. That's how my brain works. And I've actually had a lot of things make sense. Or, even I'd be like, oh no, that does not make sense. I just kind of rule it out or whatever. Because I have a lot of thoughts all the time. I'm one of those. I'm a thinker. I think all the time. I'm peeling out. It's just, I'm 50 feet ahead of everybody. And I have to come back and pick myself up. Let's see what link. Yeah. I love Utah. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. It is. So is Rexburg. So is Idaho. It's all beautiful up there. It really is. It is. I don't know what's going on. And I mean, I don't know if it's just because I pay attention to this pool of people. And that's why I'm here. That's why I don't know. I just deal with the politics. I'm not political at all. I don't think so. If I am, I don't know what I am. Okay. I don't like corruption. It bothers me. And there's been a lot of that in Chad and Lori's case. I'm just going to say it. And I mean, that's not, I mean, it's not giving them any leniency or forgiveness, or it's not that. It's just right and wrong. There's right and then there's wrong. There's people who, don't want things out. There's people who maybe don't want to be implicated. There's people who don't want to be publicly shamed. I don't know what their reasons are. I just know that I don't like that. Not on my family's blood. My family's blood was spilled. They get to, everybody else just gets to go and, from the prosecutors to the lawyers, the defense lawyers, to the court clerk. Oh, I'm backwards. It's from digging into this case because everything is upside down and backwards and round. Mental gymnastics. But I just want the truth. And I'm finding a lot of that in just some more off topic, not so mainstream ways. So there's that little disclaimer for what I'm going to show you. I've struggled with how I'm going to share it with you because it's very, it's talking about the abuse. And see, I don't even know if I can say abuse. And I just said it again because, we're censored a lot and we will get shadow banned. They can just take your whole damn channel, every video you've ever made, and it's gone. So, whatever. I'm at that point where I'm just like, just take it, whatever. And I just think that's wrong also. We should be able to talk about things. It's not like we're inciting anything. That's probably not a good word to say. I'm batting 100 right now. But it's about and it's not even alleged. I don't even know what to call it. What's another word for Gary Busey? Abusey. I don't know what to say. And I hate to water it down. That doesn't need. Oh, like whenever people would say, when your family died, I'm like, they didn't pass away, they didn't die, they didn't just life cycled them out, they were pushed out. They were graded and rated and degraded and you know what I mean, dismembered and burned and bound and just horrific, horrifying, tragic deaths. And that bothers me about that, about them, their last moments, their when their world just started falling apart. And Lori was just, I'm not saying obviously she wasn't a great mother. I'm not a great mother, you know, not like that. But I've been like, I've always said things like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna kill you when you know what I mean," like that. But I didn't mean it. And I don't say it now, like, and I didn't say it to my kids, but you know what I'm saying. I hope just things we say and we don't even know we're saying them. And then you're like, oh, okay, that's not a good thing to say. I think if Lynn Packer's channel is, so are you. Oh, it's not Lynn's though, but it is off the same like-minded people. It's the same group. It's the same circle. It's people who do bad things to children. So here we go. Birds of a feather flock together, and they do some really crappy stuff. And that's why we're here in the first place. And this will also explain Jody, Ruby, what happened to those two children, what was going to happen to Melanie Pulowski's children, and what did happen to Tylee and JJ. So if you need those little bullet points, that's them. And there you go. It is what it is. So the guy that I had talked to, we had actually, talked on the phone, and this was about a month ago. And because I had found his blog and I was reading some of the stuff that he has talked about, and I was like, oh my God, this is about Hamlin and Levitt and this whole brood. Okay. Gordon Bowen and M. Russell Ballard. That's Tim Ballard's damn grandpa. Okay. Come on. Right now, this is my theory. This is my prediction. Here you go. You want my revelation real quick? So I was reading and I watched a video I went and looked up Adam Herbert's channel, his channel, not the news channel. I looked up his channel because he has a lot of Hamlin, Levitt, like a 30-minute video where he says, Buffalo baby. Am I buffering? Hey, Cherry Pie. It is, huh? It is coming together. Like I said, we already know the end results, but as soon as we can get to the root of it and acknowledge it, we can't bring them back, but we can raise awareness. We can raise hell. We can raise the roof. We can raise prices. I don't know. Raise some cane. Yeah. Oh, thank you, SL Conley. I'm dealing with something right now too. I don't even want to look at my phone. My mom had texted me and I don't know. I haven't really thought about it because this is my distraction. But mom had texted me and she said, have you heard about Uncle Ed? And I was just, my heart dropped. And I already know what that means. Yeah. And so I haven't looked at my phone yet to he could not be dead. I don't know, but I don't know. I can't deal with it right now. So, I'll deal with it when we're done here. And hopefully it's not what I'm thinking, but that's the kind of text that say, "Hey, you heard about your Uncle Ed? He's dead, probably." He was my favorite, and I was closest to my Uncle Ed, which is actually, he's my stepdad's brother. But I've been around him since I was a little girl. And that's my Uncle Ed. He taught me about the damn rapture. He used to scare the shit out of me. He would, my grandmother owned my grandparents owned a convenience store. It was like a mom and pop shop. And we all, from my dad and his brothers and all us grandkids, we put our time in at the damn store. We bagged ice. We fronted the shelves. That's how I learned how to just do short, what do you call it? Short, oh my God. Chit chat, just short talk. I don't even know where that word went, but anyways. Oh my God, it's bothering me though. Anyways, I learned how to engage with customers and people, and you never let anybody walk out of the damn store without whatever they needed. Okay. And it's just very old school mom and pop. They had everything. My papa could go to somebody brought a screw in. He'd be like, "Hold on." And I'd be like, "Oh my God, how does he find it in there?" Wow. But I really did. My grandparents had a huge part of my life, Okay, I don't want to just get out of this. But I just really appreciate them for that. And the Chad's trial starts on my mama's birthday, and she passed away in January. And so April 1st. Joke's on you, Chad. Right? Right. All right, let me get on. Let me get off the screen, and that way I can continue to ramble somewhere else. So I'm just going to show you kind of what we're going to be talking about. Okay, well, that obviously not. Let me go back to here. And so if you are interested, I mean, I'm barely on here. I don't even know what I'm doing here. Really. I think me and DJ just hooked up on here, and I don't even know how I did it. I don't know how it works yet. And so his name, he goes by Go L. So it's at I've been putting 1800, but anyway, it's at 1830 Go L. And he's a nice guy. He was raised Mormon. And so I asked him whenever I talked to him, I was like, "Well, okay, so are you Mormon?" Because he lives not in Utah. And so that was, I'm just trying to feel him out, see where he's at, and how you do when you meet people. And I had written him in here. I had left a comment or something, and how I just feel like this is where this goes. I really do feel like it is this whole ritual abuse, ritual murder. A lot of people will say whatever they need to make themselves comfortable in the world that they live in, and I'm fine with that too. But I'm tired of feeling shame. I'm tired of being shamed. And I should be able to go and learn from wherever I'm at. I mean, this is real. Tylee and JJ are really dead. They really did get murdered. They really were dug up in their mom's side piece's backyard that he shared that home with his wife of 29 years and their children and grandchildren. And so he's just a real stand-up dude, right? He was serving a calling in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It is what it is. And these are the circumstances that I am put into, that my family was put into, that we were all put into, that none of us asked for. And I know it's a sensitive subject. Trust me, I know. And it does suck. But if we can all just check all of our, I don't know. I always just say, check your beliefs at the door, because I mean, we don't know. Nobody knows what goes on after we die. Nobody knows if there's a God or not a God. Nobody knows. Nobody has a damn answer. So we're all just here. And then we shame each other for what we believe and how we believe. And it gets dangerous because belief it'll make your family members disappear. It'll put your mom on a hit list. It'll make your family zombies. It'll get your family raided, murdered. It'll change your life and your entire life. Your entire trajectory is done. It just did itself. It was like, oh, okay, I'm a realign here. This is what we're doing now. Okay. So I just like to search. And sometimes it brings me to some really dark YouTube streets, right? So I came over here. I come here quite often, and I try to go through all his articles and stuff. And I didn't even know we beat around the same streets, but we do. So I thought that was pretty cool. And actually, I went live. I forget when, and we talked about. It was Tim Ballard. So I had shared in that live stream at the very end, I shared a blog post, and it was from this man right here. And then I watched Mormon Stories podcast, and John shared the same damn blog. I was like, what? That's cool. I really did think that was cool because I was like, I don't know. I just read. It doesn't mean I agree. It's just a way I read the comments. I find all the things, because that's where it's at. That's where the meat and potatoes are at. You learn so many different aspects, so many different beliefs, views, it just raises more questions and answers some questions. It's just, I find it very interesting. I like people watching too. So sue me. I just find that interesting. So maybe it's just the human behavior thing that I am keen to. I don't know. But my prediction or whatever is that the church had to do whatever it had to do to distance themselves, because I really feel, we had heard that Tim Ballard was going to run for Senate or announce it, whatever, October 11th, I think. So my prediction is that I think they're going to get indicted. I think it's going to be him and Sean Reyes and maybe Tim Robbins. I'm trying to think of all their names. Maybe Glenn Beck. I don't know. Whoever was doing not so good stuff. I really don't know. Whoever was not playing right. And I'm thinking, how Lynn Packer had reported that it was about the killing the grand jury or something. It was a video on something that killed the grand jury. I don't remember the title, but it was something like that. And so this investigation, or so we thought, went away. And OUR was like, or Tim Ballard was like, there's no investigation. And so then, it kind of comes out to be that way. And you're like, well, where the hell did the investigation go? What the hell? I know they dirty, like you can just feel it in your bones. You can feel it in your core, and you're like, And it's just weird. And he's acting like a crazy chicken with his head cut off right now. But I also look at things objectively, and I'm like, well, this could be a ruse. And whatever. I'm just here, I used to drink beer, but now I drink this Dr. Pepper, and it's good. So I just sometimes we live in a very political world that is only wanting to divide us, to polarize everything. You have to be over here or you have to be over there. You're either with me or you are against me. And that's a very, I think we're selling ourselves short. Just being one way or the other. Just be you. You don't have to impress nobody except maybe your husband if you want to, or your boyfriend or your girlfriend, whatever it is that you love to do, as long as it makes you happy and your kids don't look at you crazy. And if they do, no, I'm kidding. You know what I'm saying. But just do you. It's okay to be you. And maybe I've lived in a world where I couldn't be me until later in life. And so maybe that's the same for you. Maybe we lived in worlds where we couldn't, or we didn't know who we were. But now we're getting a good idea because we're getting old. And things are starting to sag. Gravity's like, I got you. All right, I'm going to quit stalling. So this is what we're going to look at. This podcast right here. It is explosive. It is jaw dropping. It is going to hurt you. It's going to affect you. It did me. These are the things that if you have been a victim of abuse, abuse, any kind of abuse, if you're sensitive to these topics, oh, God bless you, because you've been around me. And here we go. This is what we do. But this is where I find answers too. So anybody who is going to be sensitive to this, now would be a good time to exit. And we love you. Take care of yourself. You're the only you're ever going to be, like KJ says. And just, you better than we do. You better than anybody else. So take care of you so you can come back, because we love you. And we like hanging out with you because you're cool. All right. Now, so horrible language. Remember whenever Lynn Packer said dick? I was like, well, that came out of nowhere. Dude just said that word. Well, there's a lot of that. And there's a lot of child that. So I'm just going to push the button. I'm going to push the damn button. Okay. So I came to his blog or whatever. God, that's bright. I need some sunglasses. I came to this blog and more or whatever. Saw that he was on this channel. I was like, oh, good. And so this channel is, again, I don't do politics. I'm here to learn. I don't even know who they are. We Are the People YouTube channel. And then they were surprised that it was even, because I heard them say that. They were like, I don't even know if this is going to stay up, because but I'm glad to see their views going up too. So that tells me that people are watching. And that's good, because people need to watch. It's uncomfortable truths. They're, that maybe we haven't had to deal with. Some of us have, some of us haven't. And there's some that don't make it back. There's a lot that don't make it back. And I just want to understand. And I think that's why you're here too. So let's go. So, trigger warning. I don't know their names though. Jason Preston, there you go. Alexia Preston, they married. It makes this dude he's like, I mean, it affects him. I can tell. Oh, okay. I guess we didn't have to do the intro. She looks as excited as I am. All right, I'm gonna speed it up to here. Lord knows it's long. I like this one part though, and I'm second her on this. Oh, right here. Oh, hell. That's bad. Oh. And they did. The Google, I'll grab that and bring it to y'all. She said it backwards too. But we're not trying to die, okay? Just for bringing the content. Wow, that's bad, right? I was like, I need to start saying that all the time. I think Suze is the one who was like, oh, Adam Steed needs to say that too, right? Because when you start exposing things, people get a little touchy. And you get Jesus cards left in your house from missionaries, maybe. And, it's just one thing you just want to be cautious about. Hey, let's do that. It says go out. So he was Mormon, but he does not believe in the church. He doesn't believe the church is true. So he does believe in Joseph Smith, but I love him just the same. So I just like, there's a little background, but we talked forever, and he knew about, I told him in my comment or whatever, it was about Chad and Lori and Tylee and JJ, and I told him who I was and how I was related. And then we got in contact with each other. We talked, and his thing was about Chad being, because he raised this up to me. He was like, Chad was a sexton. And I was like, yeah, right. Weird, huh? And he said that, these kind of people, they like to go and do all kinds of weird stuff in the graveyard. And I was like, oh my God. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. That checks out. So he was saying, he was like, well, you know where Chad Daybell's from, right? And I was like, yeah. And I said Springville, actually. And so he was like, no, he's from Provo. And I was like, oh, yeah. And then they moved to Springville. Right. And he was like, Southern Utah. And so, I mean, he is like, he's like me, how I am with the case, the details or whatever, and this and Chad and Lori, he's like that over there. And so he was like, well, I don't know everything about it. I was like, good. We'll just throw stuff at each other. And so he thinks it could be plausible. So that Chad and Lori were in this. I don't know. We'll see. There's a lot of the same things. It's as loud as it goes. Oh, it's not even showing?
Rachel, Eliza,
I was playing the
Catherine,
whole damn thing.
Miriam Hamlin, and
Hold
their
on.
parents, Roselle Anderson
Hold
Hamlin
on.
and
God
David
dang,
Lee
this is
Hamlin.
not a good start.
David Lee Hamlin was a
Hold on, I'm going over
psychologist in
there.
Provo,
Okay,
Utah.
so were y'all even
Educated
seeing the
at
screen the whole
University of
time?
Arizona, postgraduate work at Cornell
Okay,
Medical.
well, y'all do now. Now, let me shut up and let me
out of
rewind it
Rochester,
a little
New
bit.
York.
Can you pull your microphone
Hopefully y'all
closer
can
to you
hear it.
to make sure that here we go.
And basically, what the Hamlin girls tell a story of, their narrative is the abuse began right after they were born. And we're going to get into that. So Rachel and Eliza Hamlin, these are the two eldest Hamlin daughters, and they filled out victims' statements 1, 2, and 4 with the Provo Police Department in the criminal case against their father, David Lee Hamlin, from 2012 to 2014. He was ultimately charged with 18 separate counts of abuse.
He's so
Their
good.
allegations had previously been determined to be truthful by the court in David Lee Hamlin's divorce.
There you go.
Specifically, the court found that David Lee Hamlin had sexually abused Rachel and Eliza Hamlin. I have that document with me. I obtained from a source. So what we're going to be reading from now is a direct source document. It's the finding of fact, conclusions of law, and order regarding custody, parent time, and related matter in the Hamlin divorce.
Roselle, she had just gotten arrested not long ago, right around the time that Ruby and Jody got arrested, and they held her with no bond also. But I never did finish reading that article from earlier to see if back in March, it was a post that said that Hamlin had gotten bail. So I never did. That's all I saw was the headline. I never got to finish and see. And that'd be about right, because he's gotten away and slithered through this crap this long, and that's how they do. This is how they roll. They're gross.
What the court found beginning was that prior to the beginning of trial, Rachel and Eliza had each reached the age of majority. As of the date of the trial, Rachel was age 22 years of age, and as of June 1st, 2002, had married. Rachel voluntarily testified at the trial. As of the date of the trial, Eliza was 19 years of age. Eliza voluntarily testified at the trial. As of the date of the trial, Katie was age 16. She did not testify at the trial. Miriam was age 8. She did not testify at the trial. Petitioner seriously and over a long period of time sexually abused Rachel, which sexual abuse was established by evidence that was clear and convincing. Petitioner seriously and over a long period of time sexually abused Eliza, which sexual abuse was established by evidence that was clear and convincing. Among the evidence which the court finds to be clear and convincing with regard to the sexual abuse by the petitioner of Rachel and Eliza is the following. Rachel and Eliza are substantially different personalities who demonstrated different emotions and affect. as they testified in open court regarding their memories of sexual abuse committed by their father. Rachel and Eliza never discussed the account of sexual abuse by their father with each other, and each testified completely independent of the other. Rachel and Eliza each gave detailed testimony with regard to sexual abuse perpetrated upon them by their father, which testimony was not only consistent with the testimony given by the other, but also consistent with the other statements which they had made outside of the court regarding this subject. The evidence presented did not persuade the court that either Rachel or Eliza had collaborated or conspired with the respondent, in this case, their mother, Roselle Hamlin, to create a story about sexual abuse to aid respondent in her divorce case. Neither Rachel nor Eliza had the personality or the type of relationship with the respondent which would allow the respondent to dominate them or to succumb to her influence to the point where they would fabricate allegations of sexual
Right.
abuse against the
He is
petitioner.
scary.
It is understandable
Try not to cover
that
it.
Rachel and or Eliza were angry with their father, but there is no credible evidence before the court which would lead the court to conclude that because of their anger, they would fabricate their allegations of abuse. The disclosure by Rachel and Eliza of sexual abuse perpetrated by the petitioner came forward through a delayed process, through fear and shame in the
Fear and shame.
relationship they were placed in, including but not limited to the dual role with the petitioner as a patient in therapy and as a child with a parent, because David Lee Hamlin was acting as their therapist and their parent.
Bam. All right. Let's
The
talk about
testimony of
that.
Rachel and
Okay?
Eliza
Freaking this is, and I knew this was the other therapist for sure that I have been watching and keeping up with, David Hamlin. But there's a whole freaking network of these people. Okay. There's David Hamlin. There is, the dual relationships. A lot of things sound just like what Jessie went through and her explanations of things and how I'm not good with that kind of stuff. So I suck at it and I apologize. So Jess, this is going to trip me up. So Jess, they experienced a lot of the same thing that these girls experienced. And it just, whoa. Okay, let me shut up because I'll make a great mess of it or something. What the hell?
was supported by the evaluation, investigation, analysis, and expert
The whole
opinions of
therapist.
Dr. Beal, who concluded that the evidence be considered mandated.
And the church recommended, because there's going to be some at the very end and you're like, oh my God. Oh, him too? Oh, he not only was a bishop and then, no, I'm sorry, a stake president, but he recommended to David Hamlin and then he participated in it. Oh my God, this is horrible. This is not just isolated to Jody Hildebrandt. This is not just this is, I'm thinking since Lynn Packer named Tom Harrison, I was like, okay, there's that. Cause I already knew, I just didn't know where. I knew, I just didn't know where to connect it. And now I'm getting there. The circle's getting smaller. It is closing in. It is locking. We're holding arms.
Dated a conclusion that they had been sexually abused by the petitioner. Dr. Beal was well prepared, thorough, and thoughtful. Dr. Beal's report and testimony were based on extensive interviews and tests, and as a result of his extensive testing and extensive interviews, he was among the experts who considered the allegations made with regard to the petitioner in the best position to evaluate the credibility of the allegations made by Rachel and Eliza.
So let's take a step back, because that's
and they tell him this the whole time. They try and pull him in, and he just keeps on trucking.
Layman's terms. Let's break that.
In layman's terms, an expert witness
He's not there to
persuaded
visit
the court that the allegations against David Lee Hamlin of sexual abuse by his oldest two daughters, Rachel and Eliza, were true.
So this is true. This is not a
His
conspiracy.
findings were the result of extensive interviews and testing, in which he found them to be credible enough to come and testify under oath in the divorce trial that they were telling the truth.
Same
Additionally,
stories.
they also testified under oath, under penalty of perjury as to those allegations, and the court believed them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
one of the things, go ahead. Before we finish with David.
a family court found in 2003 that he had
God.
sexually abused his 2 eldest daughters, Rachel and Eliza Hamlin.
I'm looking away.
Despite this, he was not prosecuted for any crime at that time.
Mm-mm.
Hamlin was also found to have administered peyote to his daughters while they
What
were
a prick.
minors. That is a Schedule 1.
You just don't do
That is
that.
a Schedule 1 controlled substance.
It's not
It
like
is
whiskey
illegal
on
to
their
give it
gums.
to anyone,
You don't do that.
let alone to a child. But he
And
was
didn't
not
he give it
prosecuted.
to one of his kids under the age of 5 as well?
Yes, Miriam Hamlin.
I do
at the
too,
time
that's so
was under
Connolly.
the age of 5.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And for our listeners right now, we're talking about David Lee Hamlin.
Right there with you. Just
Hang
kidding.
with us because we will be dropping names of people.
No telling what
that
they would do
you-
to the
that
sheep.
you know, and in positions that are going to shock you. So hang tight and follow the story.
Okay.
The blacks there.
So, sometime between
It's
October
horrible.
1997
You see it in
and
these people,
February
though.
1998,
All right, I'm gonna
petitioner
shut up.
attended the ceremony of the
Sorry.
Native American Church conducted by Oklahoma Earthwalks Incorporated, during the course of which the petitioner ingested peyote. Pursuant to
Do
Utah
peyote,
Code
whatever.
Annotated,
Just don't
Section
freaking do gross shit with it.
58-37-4 2A3Q,
Love you. You're welcome. I'm so
peyote
glad you're
is
here.
a Class 1 controlled substance.
Mm-hmm.
After attending his first Native American ceremony, petitioner told his wife and children about his experiences using peyote and encouraged them to
This
attend.
gets bad. Oh,
There's no way for him to encourage his children to attend. He was their father. They had to attend. The parties took Rachel, Eliza, and Mimi with them to at least one Native American church ceremony. Petitioner gave each one of them, including Mimi, peyote on at least one occasion. Eliza became violently ill as a result of using peyote, and Mimi became dizzy and hallucinated.
just the way they like them.
So the parties would be both David and Roselle,
Oh,
taking
you're a good one.
taking their children to the Native
Yes.
American church ceremony and administering a
Mm.
Schedule 1 or a Class 1 controlled
Yeah.
substance. They should have both been prosecuted, but they were not.
Right, Janelle? Right.
So
It does happen.
following up on that,
They bastardize everything.
he administered a controlled substance to his daughters in violation of the law. You cannot give it to a consenting adult. The youngest daughter, Miriam, would have been younger than 5 years of age at the time.
Mother,
Despite this
he
clearly
wouldn't be
illegal
alive.
and criminal conduct, David Lee Hamlin was
Aw,
not
thank you,
prosecuted by the
Justine.
Utah County
Thank
Attorney's
you.
Office or even
That means
arrested
a
by the
lot. Thank
Provo
you.
police. DCSF did
I'm gonna
nothing.
move this though so
And
we
this
can
was
see
in
it.
the 90s.
This is
Thank
in
you.
Early
the
2000s.
90s when the acts occurred. And additionally, the first time the abuse was reported was in
I don't know.
1999. In
If anybody
2000,
knows.
it was reported again. All told, before the 2012 criminal investigation began, by my count, there were 5 separate occasions that he was reported to the Provo Police Department
There you
by
go.
Roselle Hamlin and
Dirty.
his children.
Correct.
They also reported it to DCFS, and on 5 separate occasions, the
5.
law enforcement and social
Oh my God. I just lost my stream. I don't even know what's going on.
social services did nothing.
Wait, my
Again,
computer just
these
went
are not
black.
mere allegations.
Sorry.
These are findings that were made by a court of law
Whoa.
in Hamlin's divorce and custody trials, and I just showed you the primary document. So it's not my word against his. This is a court of law's findings by clear
And
convincing
what we're going to be
evidence.
getting into today is things that are going to be, you're going to find this is not, we're not even warming up, but clearly the most terrifying things you can imagine. And nobody is getting, these things are being hidden. And that's what he's laying the case for, is these people are getting away with it and they're being protected by the judicial system.
By the end of this guy he's
David
so
Lee Hamlin
like
also
just
sexually
triggered
abused his patients.
and
As a
mad.
licensed psychologist, David Lee Hamlin had sex with his patients and claimed to his patients that the sexual activity was therapeutic. 2
Oh,
adult female patients who had been abused by David Lee Hamlin testified against him during his divorce. While the Utah Division of Occupational and Professional Licensing stripped Hamlin of his license, they did not investigate whether or not he had sex with his minor
There you
patients.
go.
On or about October 20th, 2000, petitioner and the Division of Occupational and Professional Licensing for the state of Utah, hereafter hereinafter Doppel,
You
entered
die.
into a stipulation and order, hereinafter the agreement, which agreement was the result of an investigation conducted on behalf of Doppel by D. Thorell, an employee of Doppel. In the agreement, petitioner specifically acknowledged inter alia that the following conduct relevant to a
It gets
determination by
worse,
this
you know.
court of whether the
It's bad.
petitioner should have the right to exercise parent time with his minor children. David Lee Hamlin admits he has had intimate relationships with several patients during clinical therapy sessions and claimed to some of these patients that the intimacy was therapeutic to them. Paragraph 8 of the agreement. David Lee Hamlin admitted in his conduct constituted unprofessional conduct prohibited by law and agreed that an order could be entered by Doppel revoking his license to practice as a psychologist in the state of Utah.
Oh my God.
David Lee Hamlin agreed that he would not apply for a licensure for 5 years, and that if he ever reapplied,
Oh my God.
Doppel's entire investigation file would be available to evaluate his character and abilities to safely practice as a psychologist in the state of Utah. Among the patients with whom petitioner had sex.
Does that not sound a lot like, oh my God, my computer keeps flashing out, y'all. I'm so sorry. But I mean, I wonder where it went.
Cresha? Y'all, we're having a little technical difficulties here, but we will get it there. I guess it's thrown her out completely, and she'll be back. And while we're waiting on her, that is just, I mean, you can tell that those people who are interviewing that man are really hurt by the information that he is sharing with them. And those notebooks on the table while they're talking, those are the transcripts of the testimonies of those little girls and some of the other people who were the victims of David Hamlin. And I'm sure Cresha's trying to get back in now. I was going to say, I might could pull up that video. I wonder if they've taken it down. It's possible, because I'm looking for it. There it is. So, y'all talk amongst yourself for just a minute, because I'm guessing that Cresha is trying to get back in. This information is just really, we've got the trigger warning there, but it's just unbelievable that this man, who was a trained, educated psychologist, used what he knew to hurt his own children, both mentally and physically and sexual. Here she comes. I was preaching.
I don't know. It just started to sound like a coffee pot. And then so I was like, okay, it's not responding. And I didn't know if y'all could hear me or not. I was just talking. And so I restarted my router. That's what it's called. And here we are. Anyway, so let's get back.
Yeah.
See, we're trying to learn the truth. Damn.
That's Satan
Daddy
keeps
and-
getting in the way.
It's a Gaddy and robbers, man. Damn.
Right.
I never knew how much they affected my life. And they do. This is the most, I mean, I don't really read or Trace knows and there's a lot of history in this, and God bless you. Okay. Anybody who is in this kind of field, or like police officers that aren't dirty, you know, all the good people who work in this line of work, God bless you. Thank you for your service. Yeah. Y'all need a holiday in your name because it just takes a lot out of you. Okay. Let me hush. And this is the only time I sit right here. Other than that, I sit in my room, and I need to move around more. I moved some bamboo yesterday. I was breathing like a heifer. All the time I need to do that more. Okay, where are we at?
So David Lee Hamlin also sexually.
Oh, where are we at?
So David Lee Hamlin also sexually abused his patients. As a licensed psychologist, David Lee Hamlin had sex with his patients.
we
and
already
claimed
do
to his
this?
patients that the sexual activity was therapy during of his
Let me see.
Division of Occupational and Professional Licensing for the state of Utah, hereinafter Daybell, entered into a stipulation and order hereinafter the agreement, which agreement was the result of an investigation conducted on behalf of Daybell
I had to.
by D. Thorell, an employee
Oh,
of
he
Daybell.
cropped it too.
In the agreement, petitioner specifically acknowledged inter alia that the following conduct relevant to a determination by this court of whether the petitioner should have the right to exercise parent time with
There
his
are.
minor children. David Lee Hamlin admits he has had intimate relationships with several patients
Just
during
smoking.
clinical therapy sessions and claimed to some of these patients that the intimacy was therapeutic to them. Paragraph 8 of the agreement. David Lee Hamlin admitted in his conduct constituted unprofessional conduct prohibited by law and agreed that an order could be entered by Daybell revoking his license to practice as a psychologist
It
in
sounds
the
like
state of
Jody.
Utah.
Okay.
David Lee Hamlin agreed that he would not apply for a licensure for 5 years, and that if he ever reapplied, Daybell's entire investigation file would be available to evaluate his character and abilities to safely practice as a psychologist in the state of Utah. Among the patients with whom petitioner had sexual relations with during his therapy sessions were 2 adult female patients who testified at trial. Each had suffered significant emotional trauma as a result of their experiences with the petitioner, and petitioner never contacted them to apologize for his actions. So what you have here is by 1999 and 2000, it is known that David Lee Hamlin, as a psychologist, is having sex with his patients and trying to convince them that it's part of their therapy.
Yeah, he is a predator.
He's stripped of his license, but he is not charged with any crime. So at the time when his daughters are walking into the Provo Police Department in 2000, it's known that he's had sex with his patients. And
Right.
he's trying to
Thank
convince
you.
those
It solves the
patients
problem.
that the sex is part of their therapy. Despite this, the Provo Police Department and the Utah County Attorney's Office declined to investigate further or prosecute him.
It's nice that they
There
have
is
that
more.
option too. Oh, hell.
Rachel, Eliza, and Katie Hamlin alleged that their father, David Lee Hamlin, had moved a patient named Angela Fenton into the family's home in Provo. Angela Fenton was a dissociative identity disorder patient with multiple personalities, one of whom was a young boy named CJ. David Lee
This
Hamlin
gets a
had
little
sex
confusing.
with Angela Fenton and involved Rachel in therapy sessions with Fenton. He represented to Rachel and to others that she was his apprentice, even
There you
though
go.
she was a
Think of
child
these.
with no
You
psychological
got to remember
training
these words.
whatsoever. Rachel Hamlin alleged that she was abused by her father and Angela Fenton. This is from the divorce proceedings. During the course of the marriage, a female patient, hereinafter referred to as the patient, as part of her therapy, came to live in the family home with the parties and their minor children.
Now, doesn't that sound like Jesse?
While the patient was
Or
living with the petitioner
oh.
and his family in their home in Provo, Utah, petitioner was performing therapy on the patient who was suffering from severe mental disorder.
It's froze. Well, Krisha got kicked out again. There must be some things going on down there. Let's see. Well, this is a very hot topic that we're talking about for sure. And it's just really something that all of these things should have nothing to do with children. And certainly without a doubt, it should have nothing to do with having sex with children. But yet it all leads back to it, damn it. Something really bad has happened with these children. And I can't imagine. It says that they're adults now and they, give this testimony. And that they've gotten to be adults and have lived with their own parents doing them that way. And I guess they're very lucky that he didn't kill them. And in fact, I think one of the girls did testify that she had hoped that they would die because the things that were happening were so horrific. And I don't understand why all of these people are not in jail. I bet Crush is going to be fit to be tied whenever she finally gets back in. Her computer is just being mean to her tonight. And I had a technical difficulty with my keyboard. It would not type. Nothing was happening whenever I was typing. And I had to restart my computer. That seems to be the only problem I'm having with my stream. So, who has ever heard of a psychologist moving in with people or moving one of their patients in with their family? I mean, I'm pretty sure that's wrong and against.
I'm about to give up. What the hell?
Protocol.
It kicked me out that time. I mean, just took it down. I don't know. I've restarted my computer. This thing is not old. I don't know what's going on. I hate technology, but I love it. I need it. Okay. Well,
let's try it. We're going to have to whoop. Are you streaming that straight from them? I just want you to know that I did download that whole video today in case that they take it
down. If you download it and they take it off, it still takes it out of your downloads.
No, I mean, I downloaded it as a MP4 to my computer.
Oh, see, I don't know all that fancy stuff. I didn't know that. I used to download all these things, and I was like, wait, I can't. What? You can only have
There's
it.
a way to do it. There's a way to do it. I'll tell you about that later.
Right? I'm so slow in the portal. Okay, come on.
All right, I'll back out.
Yeah, I was scared they were going to take it down too. Try this again.
A lot of what
I know where we're at.
Rachel, Eliza, and Katie Hamlin alleged.
Probably right here. I don't know.
So David Lee Hamlin also sexually abused
So
his
sorry, y'all.
patients. As
Oh,
a
we got
licensed
that.
psychologist, David Lee Hamlin had sex
okay.
with his patients and claimed
Stay
to
right
his patients that the sexual activity was therapeutic. Two
Yes.
adult female patients who had been abused by David Lee Hamlin testified against him during his divorce. While the Utah Division of Occupational and
Yes.
Professional Licensing stripped Hamlin of his license, they did
Oh,
not
Jesus
investigate
is
whether or not he had
effing with
sex
me
with his
bad.
minor patients. On or
Thank you.
about October 20th, 2000, petitioner and the Division of Occupational and Professional Licensing for the state of Utah, hereinafter
Utah.
hereinafter
I can't help
Daybell,
it.
entered into a stipulation and order, hereinafter the agreement, which agreement was the result of an investigation conducted on behalf of Daybell by D. Thorell, an employee of Daybell. In the agreement, petitioner specifically acknowledged inter alia that the following conduct
Wow.
relevant to a determination by this
That's
court of
interesting.
whether the petitioner should have the right to exercise parent time
Right.
with his minor children. David Lee Hamlin admits he has had intimate relationships with several patients during clinical therapy sessions. and
Again,
claimed
thank
to
you,
some of his
sir. Thank you
patients
for admitting, right? Now
that
everything's
the
good.
intimacy was therapeutic to them. Paragraph 8 of the agreement. David Lee Hamlin admitted in his conduct
Gary.
constituted unprofessional conduct prohibited by law and agreed that an order could be entered by Daybell revoking his license to practice as a psychologist in the state of Utah.
He just talked in cursive.
David Lee Hamlin
I do.
agreed that he would not apply for a licensure for 5 years, and that if he ever reapplied, Daybell's entire
Natalie.
investigation file would be available to evaluate his character
We may
and
be in and out
abilities to
too.
safely practice as a
We get kicked
psychologist
out.
in the state of Utah. Among the patients with whom petitioner had sexual relations with during his therapy sessions
I
were
want to
2
punch
adult
them.
female patients who testified at trial. Each had suffered significant emotional trauma as a result of their experiences
Hey.
with the petitioner, and petitioner never contacted them to
No.
apologize for his actions. So what you have here
Is
is by
a
1999 and
bad guy.
2000,
Oh,
it
yeah,
is
we did
known
see this. I'm sorry.
that David Lee Hamlin, as a
I didn't
psychologist,
know
is having sex with his patients and trying to convince them that
That's
it's
what
part of their
I looked
therapy.
up the interview.
He's stripped of his license, but he is not charged with any crime.
Okay, so real quick, we'll go. Oh, hell. That's what I was doing. I was going, okay, right here. And that's when my computer freaked out. And so this is, what had been posted by Fox 13 News about, let's see when this was. I know it was about a year ago, I want to say. Okay, October 3rd, September 28th, 2022, and whatever. And here are these counts, right? Let me push this. That's really what we want to. We don't want to see him. I don't like him.
When you donate your gently used
Well, thank
items
you.
at a Goodwill Houston donation center or shop at your local.
I want to pause. I want to mute that. Damn. Okay. All right. Hopefully, I won't get kicked out again. I restarted. Sometimes you just got to restart. I do that a lot. I'm resilient. Okay, but I can't see y'all because I'm controlling this button. All right. Goodwill Houston. All right.
The Sheriff's Office has arrested its first suspect in a ritualistic child sex abuse investigation, but they think there will be more arrests.
Fox 13 News investigative reporter Adam Herbets has been following the story all year and just received the probable cause statement in this arrest. Adam, what does it say?
Well, yeah, Bob Kelly, we have been accumulating information on this man, David Hamlin, since February. Today, the Sheriff's Office confirmed its investigation does not stop with his arrest. There are still multiple victims, multiple suspects. Each story is different, but the common thread is that the allegations are very disturbing.
Maybe. Let's look.
The first time we heard David Hamlin's name was in 2012, charged with 18 felony counts of sex abuse against multiple family members. This video shows Provo police spending months conducting interviews. Then they recorded an undercover phone call where he confessed, "I am sorry for raping you. I'm not saying somebody in my body didn't do it." The Utah County Attorney's Office dropped the charges.
Do you think this time it will be different? I do think it will be different.
Brett Bluth, another victim, says David Hamlin was his therapist, recommended to him by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to cure him of his homosexuality.
Did you feel like
Okay.
being gay was a disease?
I mean, this sounds so familiar.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I had spent my entire life viewing that as a disease. Hypnosis was a big part of it. He told me that from the very beginning, that that was his main technique.
He says Hamlin spent hours each week trying to convince him he was abused in his childhood, that he has multiple personality disorder.
I went home from those sessions thinking that I had hurt other people.
That's
And
terrible.
that the only
That's
way
like
to get rid
Jesse.
of it would be to reenact the trauma with a righteous man.
He put his arm on the back of the sofa, and he put his other arm back here, and he waited. And we sat there in silence as I did nothing.
Years later, he confronted Dr. Hamlin and told him to turn over his license to the state. Hamlin is no longer a licensed therapist, but often conducts therapeutic peyote ceremonies through his church.
And I think that the emotional portion, the emotional damage he caused, for me was far more damaging than the actual sexual abuse.
And I can sense the fear in the voice of some of these people who have called us.
Sergeant Spencer Cannon with the Utah County Sheriff's Office says investigators have listened to
Is
more
he
than
dirty? Is he
130
corrupt?
tips,
I don't think he
most
is.
of them
I don't know,
credible,
though.
but he could not say how many mentioned Hamlin. The case has been open since April of last year, but this year, also in April, a new female victim came forward, describing sexual assaults between the ages of 6 and 13.
Let insurance deal with it too.
In at least one instance, other children were present. In another, she says she was ordered to perform sex acts on an adult female, a woman who is not considered a victim.
Do you expect there will be additional arrests?
We do at some point, yes. Yeah, this is it's very active. We have victims we're still working with, and so we anticipate that we'll have other arrests to make in this case.
David Hamlin is being held without bail in Utah County. And even though that's where he was arrested, the Juab County Attorney's Office will be handling this case.
That's scary.
Now, you might remember for the past few months, we've explained how Utah County Attorney David Levitt named himself as a suspect and described his link to Hamlin. Tomorrow, we will have more information on that part of the story. But for now, live in studio, Adam Herbets, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Okay, so let me go back over here and let me push play. Oh, wrong one. And here and play.
So
Yeah,
at
talk
the
to
time
myself.
when his daughters are walking into the Provo Police Department in 1990 and 2000, it's known that he's had sex with his patients, and he's trying to convince those patients that the sex is part of their therapy.
Yes.
Despite this, the Provo Police
Jody.
Department and the Utah County Attorney's Office declined to investigate further or prosecute him. There is more.
Spread them apart, huh?
Rachel, Eliza, and Katie Hamlin alleged that their father, David Lee Hamlin, had moved a patient named Angela Fenton into the family's home in
This
Provo.
is nuts. Oh.
Angela Fenton was a dissociative identity disorder patient with multiple personalities, one of whom was a young boy named CJ.
She's basically a
David
Jessie,
Lee
though.
Hamlin had sex with Angela Fenton
put it in
and
that
involved
perspective.
Rachel in therapy sessions with Fenton. He represented to Rachel and to others that she was his apprentice, even though she was a child with no psychological training whatsoever.
Man, we got far and then I went
Rachel
way
Hamlin
back.
alleged
Sorry.
that she was abused by her father and Angela Fenton.
Mm-mm-mm.
This is from the divorce.
I don't know who her
proceedings.
father is.
During the course of the marriage, a female patient, hereinafter referred to as the patient, as part of her therapy, came to live in the family home with the parties and their minor children. While the patient was living with the petitioner and his family in their home in Provo, Utah, petitioner was performing therapy on the patient who was suffering from severe mental disorders, including but not limited to multiple personality disorder. While the patient was living with petitioner and his family in their home in Provo, Utah, petitioner involved Rachel, who was a minor at the time, in therapy sessions with the patient. Petitioner neglected his wife and children in order to devote time to the patient and ultimately had sexual contact with the patient while she was still residing in his home.
Okay. This is basically what happened with Jesse and with the little R, Ruby's son R. It's like they have this program going on that is where they're going to train them. They will train your kid they will condition them to live in in our minds, to live in distortion, because that's what they're doing. They're crazying them up. They are upside down. I know you guys have heard about the hot tub parties, and I believed them then, and I really believe them now. I'm just like, yeah, that's what happens when you hold back normal functions as a human being. You explore, you do things. And so it's like, in a way, if the church is not directly related with this, it does factor into it, though, because of how it holds and shames you and holds that back. And the chewed up gum, and the cupcake that's all crumbled up and in shreds. I'd still eat the damn thing. I do eat the damn thing. So whatever. All right, I'll shut up.
Above identified confusing mixture of multiple religious and psychological theories
Mhm.
and practices created an environment which has caused extreme mental and emotional
That's
damage and
Mormonism.
instability in the lives of Rachel, Eliza, and Katie.
Just saying. I'm not saying that's Mormon. I'm just saying it's Mormon.
Angela Fenton.
Wow.
This is Angela Fenton of Apply Synergies, where she serves as the Human Resources Director for her former bishop and stake president, Conrad Gottfredson. According to Rachel Hamlin, Angela Fenton is a member of a Church of Satan family from Alpine, Utah.
Okay, so this might be a good time to, because we haven't even brought this up. A lot of what we're going to be discussing today is the Church of Satan. Well, the LDS Church of Satan.
I didn't know what. I was like, what? What? Okay, it's a cult within a cult, and I mean, I don't know what it is. I think it's bigger than that, but I'll stay within those. I don't have proof otherwise. Yeah, I'm just here. I'm learning. So I'm gonna let's see.
Think of it as a
You shared
religion
stuff,
within
though.
a religion. Your average Latter-day Saint
Mhm.
is not going to be privy to this.
Mhm.
They're
They
going
don't.
to go
Nobody wants to see
to
this.
sacrament meetings,
Nobody.
Sunday school, or elders quorum, or relief society, and never be exposed to this. They're never going to be recruited into this group. They would be perfectly oblivious to it, unless, and of course, a member of this group abused one of their children
Mhm.
or one of their relatives. But culturally, Latter-day Saints handle things in house. We go to our bishops. Our bishops may refer to a stake president or a high council,
Mhm.
but it is not often referred to law enforcement for an outside investigation.
But it
If
poses
you
to
were
be,
to
and that
dial the sexual
bothers
abuse
me.
hotline for the Latter-day Saints.
I know, and it bothers a lot of us. And I mean, I don't even go to that church. I don't belong to that church. Whatever, we coexist. But that's just it. I feel bad for all the people who are blind, who think that they're just being, persecution complex, that we just are mad because they have the truth and we don't. And it's so intertwined, and it's so not ever good for the victim, the believer, who falls out and, I mean, goes through this whole thing because they're there for their church. They are there because they love that community. That's all they know sometimes, a lot of times. And it's built up on this network, this community, and they depend on one another. And that's beautiful until they take it away. And that's what a narcissist does. And so that's how I view the church. I don't study any other church, but I can kind of imagine that's how it goes in other religions as well, where they just pull a Lori and they just silence you. That is abuse. That is bad abuse. Like, I don't do that to me. Like, that's so mean and hateful and calculated and resentful, and says a lot about the other person, the one doing it. But that's what the church does. So everything that I've seen Lori do, I have looked at the church as a whole, not everybody. I look at it like an entity, and that's what it is, right? And it's like a like-minded behavior. I don't know how else to say that, but it sucks to, I guess it sounds narrow-minded when I have to kind of explain it like that, but I don't know how else to explain it. But it's kind of like I can predict, or yeah, I can kind of predict their behavior, how they're going to react, how they're going to respond. And it's a pattern that, I mean, they're not going to change their spots. It's working for them. They're almost $1 trillion church. They are banking. They are good. Business is good. All is well in Zion, but it's not. And that's all over the world. It's not just this religion. It's not even people in a religion. It's all over the world. So I don't know. I just feel bad for the people who think that people like me or whatever, like I'm being critical, and I am being critical, but people should invite that as long as it's a constructive criticism. Yes, I get angry. Yes, I get snarky. I mean, I think it comes with the territory. I'm mad. My family is not here. 3 members of my family, they belong to this congregation. That congregation never stepped they never skipped a beat. They never said their names. They never extended a Christ-like hand that they talk about all the time with the sure nail and all that good stuff. They never said their names. Those are their lambs, just like Ruby's kids. But they speak out on Tim Ballard. Why? Because it's self-serving and it benefits them and it's business. Like I said, all is well, right? But I
That
love all
hotline is
people.
controlled by Kurt
I do.
McConkie,
I
the
love
same
you.
law firm that the church retains to handle sexual abuse cases when it is sued. So
Mhm.
everything is handled in-house. It's complete vertical integration.
Mhm.
Right. So when we talk about
He's like, okay, I'm a
so
Latter-day
this
Saint.
is as we get into the LDS Church of Satan, it is a very clear, it is important to distinction that is not the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Don't want to get sued
It is
or
a group that
murdered.
has infiltrated the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and we're going to continue to get into
Absolutely not. What I would say to people is one of the encouraging things that to me over the time that I've looked into this case is that there are a lot of what I now call fed up Mormons.
Hell yeah.
And who want to root
I
this
like
out.
them. That's
And
y'all.
as one of them put it to me, at this point, you can throw a rock in any direction and hit someone who's either been a victim of this abuse
Mhm.
or who is related to someone who's been a victim of this type of abuse.
Louder for everyone in the
Like,
back.
there's just too many allegations for this to be completely false.
Amen.
So there are good Latter-day Saints who want to root this out of the church because it doesn't belong in God's restored
and
church.
it's not just in the church; it's outside of the church too. It is an organization here in Utah, and not just Utah, New York and Arizona, and well, let's let
They
you
are still
explain.
mafia.
I'll let you keep going.
Yeah, so there
Let's
are a
keep
variety of different
Yes.
nonprofit organizations who are
There's a-
dedicated to rooting this out.
there's a
This is
black and a
politicians,
white.
this
There's
is
a
not
up and a
just
down.
church, this is politicians, this is
Huge
government.
difference.
This is these guys
I
are
think
have
we are
infiltrated
a good representation of that.
government,
Just humaning.
attorneys, judges. I mean, this is a group of people
Yes.
As we're
basically
going-
that
That's
basically
scary.
rule the state of Utah.
As we're going to show you, like this goes.
My thing is, wait till or I hope that nobody has to ever lose. I mean, nobody that you love and care for. I hope that you never, and I know a lot of you have had to go through the court systems, and there's that patriarchal flex, and you feel it, you see it. We all see it. We all feel it. We're all affected by it. And I mean, I'm way down here by the Gulf of Mexico, but here it is. And so it's in our world. We have to coexist. I remember somebody had told me one time that they were like, "You're just trying to take down the church." I was like, "Dang." I mean, no, I don't see where I'd benefit from that. Why would I want to do that? What would that do for? What would that be for me? All right, I got a bunch of temples. No, I just want them to do right and be right and practice what they preach, and that image that they cherish so much. That's the only thing they freaking care about. And that bothers me. And there's a lot of victims. There's too many. A lot of victims in their wake. And they just keep on trucking. Like it's nothing. And they talk vaguely. They double speak. And I never would have picked up on it had this not even happened in my family. But it did. And I don't want anybody to ever have to deal with this. And then realize that the very people that are weighing the scales of justice in your family's murder cases are the same ones, in my opinion, that actually are why they're not here. That's freaky. Like that's a mind F, you know? I'm just like, oh my God. It sucks because there's a lot of protection, a lot of cover up, a lot of bad people, or maybe just not. Maybe they're just, I don't know. I have no idea. But it just shouldn't be that way. I think Chad and Lori should have fair trials, should have, you know what I mean? Like if you have a case and you work your case, you're as a prosecutor and your investigators do their work and they don't skip they don't cut corners, they don't do shady shit, they wear their body worn cameras, they are accountable, they are responsible, they are there to protect and to serve. Okay. That's their job. So as a prosecutor, your job is to bring that to court and then you present the case. And if you have a good case and good evidence and you proven a court of law that in a, oh my God, in a court of, oh my God, of their peers, the jury, or as Larry says, a juror, that cracks me up, but you shouldn't have to do stuff like that. You shouldn't have to cut corners if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. And so I guess that's what I value is integrity. I don't like this backdoor stuff. And that makes me really suspicious because when you have your aunt who has been, I know that she's done them and what she's accused of, I know in my heart, now we have to go through this whole process. And it's long and it hurts and it's drawn out and it's worldwide, it's crazy. That blows my mind also. But, and she's has to go away because she's mentally checking out. Is she mentally checking out? Or is this something that somebody's trying to control? Is it information? That maybe she's like, I didn't kill my kids. I sacrificed them. You were there. I don't know. I wasn't there, but I play these things through my mind as to why you would have to be a mental health clinician, and you would, watch your husband's trial or court hearing. Do that. You got that right, girl. From the mental health hospital. Work on you. Get better. If that really was an episode, which I don't think it was. I have not seen her break. She's very sure of it. She thinks that what she did was done in righteousness. And it's because of this backwards ass thinking. It's gotta be. And Barry was a temple worker. I don't know what goes on. And I asked this guy right here, I was like, oh my God, I said, I don't even want to say it out loud because it sounds it's so uncomfortable to even say it. Like I feel guilty or weird. It's horrible, but I don't see a crime scene. I didn't see a crime scene. I'm glad, but there should be a freaking crime scene. They dismembered a girl, a teenage, almost adult girl. Okay. I don't see it. And I don't see Chad's barn being just like what I imagine it would be like. I don't see how they happened at the apartments. I don't see how the kids were killed at the apartments. It just doesn't add up to me. It sounds like Tim Ballard's justifying why he has to do a couples ruse. Okay. To convince the bad guys that he's really bad and really horny. I don't know. I don't care. It's stupid. So that doesn't make sense to me. But the pings around the church, the temple, whatever, that makes sense to me. Do you have eggs? I have eggs. Bring eggs to me. Whatever that text exchange was between Lori and Alex about stupid eggs, they were doing their little ceremony. They were doing their ritual, but they weren't doing it alone. And they weren't just doing it with their buds, the ones that came in just for that weekend. And then the ones that were at the conference that weekend, and then there was Jason Mal just up the road in Billings, Montana there with his other buddy. What's his name? Richard Young from Canada. And, you look at their flyers and you're like, these flyers just don't look right. They don't look like all the other flyers, Jason Mao and Richard Young, or I'll just call you Dick. Both of them, because Jason Mao is also Richard Jason Mao, so I'll call both of them Dick. 2 dicks. There you go. So I don't understand, and I don't like how when Jason Mao was questioned and he was like, persecution complex. I mean, first thing, oh my God, he works for freaking BYU. He's secure. He's there. He got promoted, whatever. He's good. He's going around the country and gathering like-minded people to pull them in to whatever satanic organization's going on. I don't know what it is. There's this Church of Satan here. It obviously coexists with us and we don't even know. We don't even see them. Okay. And it could be the person sitting next to you in Sacrament. It could be I don't know all those words, but you know what I'm saying. It's your friend, your neighbor, your kids go spend the night at their house. I don't know. It's scary. And I just say that I'd rather look inward and take a little critical thinking, be self-aware and just be like, not everything is perfect. That's just something I was raised to think, maybe. And it's okay if there's a flaw. Flaws make us beautiful, and it shows that we lived. It's very triggering. I'm sorry. I love everybody though. I do. I just hate seeing what it does. Religion is horrible. Just belief is one thing, and your heart and following your heart and doing right because it's the right thing to do. It's called integrity. My uncle had it, and I think I do too. I'm not saying I haven't been an ass. I've been an ass, and I got a lot of ass in me. Okay, still gonna be some ass, but at least we try, and that's all. I'm sorry.
It's pretty deep. So even if the individuals named in this are not members of the LDS Church of Satan, they are related to people who allegedly are, and they would have a vested interest in protecting their family name and reputation and suppressing these allegations.
It's generational.
So Angela Fenton began as
He
a
just gets
client of
back to it.
Redacted. This is from Rachel.
Okay, I'll be quiet. This is really confusing.
Victim statement. Angela Fenton began as a client of David's and then moved in with us. We had most experience. This is with her between 1995 and 1998. I believe she was in her mid to late 30s. She was overweight but very strong and had a very short haircut. David and Roselle made fun of her behind her back for being ugly or homely. She hated her family, especially her mom, and did not want to live with them in Alpine. She said so herself many times. Although she had a huge wing of the house to herself, her family was very wealthy. David said we were not to call her Angela in general because, he said, Angela did not want to come out anymore. I did meet Angela many times over this period, but she preferred to be called CJ most of the time.
And that was the disassociation she had with a small boy being one of those personalities.
Yeah, CJ was a young boy that was one of her alternate personalities. David said that Angela, or Angie as he also called her, was hiding from her life and the pain. He said that to the psychology world, Angela had severe multiple personality disorder and had many, many parts. That's what he would call the personalities. David often talked about how much he loved working with Angela, saying she was so artfully fragmented. He would make list and list of all the parts he would find and then information about each of them. Angela's family were Church of Satan members, she and David said, and she had been raised experiencing ceremonies, torture, etc., but something went wrong, we were told, and she had fallen into severe mental pieces. David believed that he could fix her and help her achieve wholeness as a devoted follower of Lucifer. I believe Angela's parents were paying David for this work.
Right there. That whole is this what was going on with Ruby Damn Frankie and Jody Damn Hildebrand? Is that why she's living in a $3 million, $5 million house over there all by herself, just breaking kids in, breaking their spirits one by one? And the neighbor said straight up, we've had trouble with her in the past, or however he said it. But this is something that comes up. Do I think it was Ruby's kids? No. I think it was other families. And this is something that they are doing. And it's sometimes, I guess, maybe it just sticks or it works, or the people are just so distorted. Whatever they are preaching is what they are doing. So that's what I've learned from this. This is just my I am not licensed. I am not Jody. I am not a professional. Look out. And so this is just my shooting from the hip opinion. Just it's actually jumble. Just word vomit, pretty much. But whatever they are doing, usually this is just, I don't know, just the way I see it, or the way I've learned. And so if they are saying that they're, to beware of Gadianton robbers and secret societies, and, even the very elect will be deceived. It's projection. And this church, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, but this church, and I'm sure all the other ones, but this one, all it does is project. That's all it does. And so we just, all of us as human beings, I think that we all walk around and we're all human projectors. We just project what we're insecure about onto our friends or who we're talking to, like right now. And we maybe read something and we read it out of context, and it's just however we feel is how we react. And that's the only control we have, is how we react. We have no other control, only how we react. So I find it fascinating because it just repeats over and over and over again in every one of these cases, and every one of these people, and even if I look at the church as a whole, I believe that it's doing that to all its members. It's projecting all the guilt, the shame, all the sexual, whatever, impropriety, all that. They put it off onto the next person, and it's just generational. It goes and the shit rolls downhill. And then I feel sorry for Spot way down there at the bottom. It's horrible. I think it was more than that. I think Jody, oh yeah, that too. And so there's that. I believe that Jody is batting for the other team, or wants to. And maybe she's just so damn mad because she was born and raised into this religion. And this religion says, no ma'am. And then, but she's already into this whole, and I'm telling you, I haven't found it yet. But, and there, hold on, I'm starting to, I was getting a little excited. But I do believe that Jody Hildebrandt is connected into this network. Gotta be. Okay. I don't think she's a very upstanding person. I don't think, she doesn't look like she's very endearing. However, she is a go-to. She was enough in the good graces to where she was in, you're like us. You're one of us. You're a gatherer. Maybe there's different jobs. Lori and Chad, they were gatherers, and there were other departments, right? They were in charge of healing and music. Come to find out, you'll learn in this podcast right here that a lot of these people tend to be copyright or screenwriters, playwriters. There's, oh my God, Gordon Bowen. I don't know how this mofo is still walking. She is a groomer. That's perfect word. And so they do have these actual words, these roles. You know how we always called Alex the protector, right? The protector. He wasn't a very good protector. Lori referred to him as, an angel that would help her get rid of the body. So whatever that is, besides trash man, he did suck shitters for a living. I'm just saying. Did he do it on a much larger scale? And he just happened to be her brother? Was he already in that line of work? Was he programmed like this? It makes one question all these different things. We know from Adam, I believe it was Adam. I think it was on Hidden True Crime, where they had asked if, Lori had experienced any abuse. And I think we learned it in a book. Maybe I don't remember. And yeah, she had. How much? And I've always felt this because the way Lori just disengaged, it's like something switched. She was not like that. It's like something switched and she was gone. But I mean, it was before she removed herself, or I'm sorry, removed everybody and then removed herself. And I wonder. I've thought this a lot, that something had to have happened to her. She's experienced ritual abuse because she's taking it out on her kids. She took it out on her kids, and I'll guarantee you she was the one, her and maybe some other chicks who are part of this underground network here, who focused on the female parts of Tylee. That's how I feel. And that's what I believe. And yeah, desensitized. She's out, gone. And she's loco. And I don't know I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't know all that stuff. I'd love to know. I think that's what we're doing. I think we're on our way to that. And then I sometimes don't want to know. But this also sounds a lot. This to me sounds just like Jesse. This sounds just like Ruby's son, R. He was there was an underground, I'm sorry, what was it? Yeah. A panic room, a safe room. And I mean, he had ropes. You'll see in this report where this happens to a little boy also. And then David Hamlin tells the mother that, and they're breaking this boy. They're making him have intercourse with one of these victims, Hamlin's daughters, okay? And they're screwing with them sexually. And so whenever you do that, it's like hyper arousal. And then it's like you, kind of like a tolerance, I guess. I don't really know. I'm not a professional, and I can only imagine. But whenever you hit your ceiling or whatever, it's just not enough. And so you want more, right? And so it's like they're kind of creating this monster. They're creating this PDF file problem. They are creating this. And we are all on the receiving end of it, unless we're participating. I'm not saying black or white. I'm just saying it's weird. It's weird. It's so backwards, just like Tim Ballard with his Operation Underground Railroad. He was saying I really believe that he is doing what he is saying to other people whenever they don't agree with him or they don't like him. It's not that they don't want to combat child trafficking. That's dumb. That's a dumb. It's like his couple's ruse. It's the stupidest thing. It's like saying, I don't even have an example for this. Be like, no, it's blue. No, it's red. No, it's blue. It's red. Look, an elephant. That kind of thing. It's a non-issue. It's irrelevant. But it throws us off as a distraction. And I don't know. I don't know how this goes. It's just weird. So I feel like he's talking about all these big bad sex traffickers. It wouldn't surprise me one bit if in these indictment charges that I feel like they're coming down for Mr. Tim Ballard. I really think that's why the church was like, hold on, let's just call this grand jury off right here, and we'll go ahead and sever ties, and we'll distance ourselves. He'll still see his grandson at Thanksgiving, they'll still have all their little wonderful stories and their grandson time. Okay. It's a continual abuse. It's a generational abuse, and it's not continuing because it's broken. It's continuing because we are allowing it. It thrives and it beats us to the punch by 50 feet every time. Because we're so uncomfortable with it, and or we're censored by it, and or people are just got the wrong idea about it. I'm sure I have some wrong ideas about a lot of things, but I try. And I think that's all we can do. But anyways, a long story just to say that I think this is CJ right here, that girl. She's undergoing this treatment. Think about Jesse's parents, how they just went and dropped her off at their aunt's and then left. Did they have a deal? Their dad's a lawyer. Their dad, that's his sister. Jody is their dad's sister. I'm trying. And I mean, what's going on? What's going on here? We trust our family members, most of us. Some of us don't at all. I get it. But there's something bigger. And I remember Jesse saying that, this just popped in my head, that nobody questioned Jody because this is her profession. This is what she does. So what is it that she does? And for whom? And why? And why? Who's in charge of this outfit?
Even though he acted and spoke around her as if he hated them as much as she did.
Oh, let me back that up.
An important distinction acted in. I believe Angela's parents were paying David for this
Mhm.
work, even though he acted and spoke around her as if he hated them as much as she
They
did.
did send Chad to Anastasia or whatever it's called, Anastasia. So they were paying other people to train him, to break him, whatever they were doing.
An important distinction to make here is that at the time, Angela Fenton's biological father had been deceased for a good bit of time. I believe he died in 1988. I'm recalling the obituary date right, but her mother did live in Alpine. That is corroborated. A good bit of her family.
And this person, whomever her dad is, because they refer to him as master or something, and she lived in one whole part of a wing of their house. That's how big their house was. Okay. I want to know who this master person is, who used to also be in this network and abuse his own daughter.
In Alpine. They had moved there from California. So Angela Fenton, Rachel Hamlin,
It's about to get bad.
detailed being forced to provide oral sex to Angela Fenton and being forced to participate in her father's therapy with Fenton.
As a minor child.
As a minor child. The therapy was designed to enable David Lee Hamlin and his accomplices to access Angela Fenton's deceased abuser within this Church of Satan.
Okay, check that. The therapy was designed to enable David Lee Hamlin and his accomplices to access Angela Fenton's deceased, okay, conjuring much, abuser within the Church of Satan. Okay. And here's this little Latter-day Saint. They all hold temple recommends and stuff and callings. Crazy.
Robert Gottfredson, Angela Fenton's employer and former stake president and bishop, was allegedly a direct participant in the therapy and the abuse, according to Rachel Hamlin.
Whole stake president. Former.
Date 1996 to 1997. Night location, Provo House.
That's when I graduated.
Uncle Con,
96.
Conrad Gottfredson, came over.
Now this is where I get confused. I'm like, redacted Con. I don't get it. I thought it was Rosie for a long time, and then I was like, well, maybe I don't have it.
after dinner to work with CJ.
This was
Angela.
And this was
Look, you see right here in this first line, it says, sat on the office couch with CJ and started blessing. And they're saying CJ's him right now. It's like a confusion. It's like, remember that guy I showed y'all, Brett Bluth, that was a victim? Poor things. Oh my God. Psychological warfare. Think about I just know rumors of, it's hearsay of Elder Oaks or President Oaks doing shock therapy. It ain't a far-fetched. I'm just saying.
Stake president.
This is her stake president or
An
bishop.
employer.
Okay. Not
So-
employer yet, or was it also her employer?
Not yet.
Not
yet,
her
not
employer
yet.
at this time.
Okay.
He would go on to become her employer to apply
Okay.
synergies,
Mhm.
the company that he founded. So David sat on the couch with CJ and started blessing them while Khan set up his camera and tripod. I was to stay behind the camera until they needed me.
Mhm.
Meaning
Roll that
Rachel.
beautiful bean footage
Huh?
for Jesus.
Rachel is the eye.
Here's your Jesus
Yeah.
movie.
David and Con had previously discovered that CJ had been abused for a long period of his childhood by a certain satanic worshiper who was very high up and powerful.
Oh.
He had the title of Master, which is something that both David and Con aspired to.
Hmm.
This man had since died, I was told, but they could still speak to him through CJ.
I wonder if this was
They
him.
started calling out different parts of CJ who had been abused by the Master. CJ's voice, facial expression, and behavior would change with each one.
Wow.
Tara, a little girl that had came out fairly often, came out and was very timid and shy. Another older one came out and started fighting and yelling, trying to get away. David and Con tried to hold her down, but were struggling. Angela Fenton did not really look it, but she could be incredibly strong at times, like the Hulk,
JJ.
David Con joked. They were sliding off the couch, trying to hold her, and David yelled out angrily for me to come help them. I scrambled over to help hold her legs down as he instructed, and she kicked me hard in the ribs. Con and David put their arms to the square.
I'm just gonna leave that one there. That's a
and
David
she
Warwick.
kicked me hard in the ribs. Con and David put their arms to the square, consistent with a priesthood blessing or ritual work. Held them up with the elbow bent and the
Temple work.
fingers extended upward, and cut off this part and sent it to the outer darkness, Lucifer's kingdom.
Okay.
They did it a few times with more elaborate language, and she finally
More elaborate language. Remember hearing that being spoken of in it was different, right? It was just so different. Melanie Gibb just prayed to Jesus because that's all she didn't have a role in the elements of earth, wind, fire, water.
calm down.
Dum
And
dum.
they put their hands on CJ's head and called forth a legion of Lucifer spirits.
Okay. Come on. Tell me this ain't it. Tell me this ain't the same like-minded people here. This little network.
They did it a few times with more elaborate language, and she finally calmed down. Then they put their hands on CJ's head and called forth a legion of Lucifer spirits. That, they said, also resided in Angela to talk with them. CJ's face contorted again, and he spoke to Redacted and Khan,
Contorted.
who demanded that they speak to the highest officers and leader.
Mm-mm.
Working
I'm saying I've gone to Rexburg. I've gone to Idaho. I've gone and sneeze. Nobody says God bless you. But everybody does bless. I bless you, bless you. I mean, listen to Ian. He was like, there were blessings flying around everywhere. What the hell is this? So what up is down, down is up. What is making people go backwards? We're in trouble if everybody starts thinking this way and starts conjuring and conjuring up demons. And I think that's what's going on. But I don't know. I don't know how that works, but I'm just a respecter of things. Okay. I'm a respecter. I respect things. I don't do things with bad intent. I don't think. Not that. No, I don't do that kind of thing with bad intent. I've never done it, I don't think, with bad intent. But I don't know. Everything's intention. And this bothers me. Like I'm rubbing my temples right now. Not the temple, but my temples. And this is so alarming to me. And this is not the abuse part. We're not even there. But this is backwards. Please, if you see anybody doing this in the temple, feel free to call them out and just say, hey, you okay? and then I don't know if this is just how it goes. That's how this works, in my opinion. It's such a off base kind of religion. Believe what you want to believe, but it just seems very destructive. The way it's mingling and twisting things to fit its narrative, whatever it is. If it's a church, if it's a person, it's not good. It's not good. Can you imagine an entire government doing that? We'd be screwed, glued, and henna tattooed. Joking.
David sat on the couch with CJ and started blessing them while Khan set up his camera and tripod.
Oh God!
I was to stay behind the
way back. I'm
been
sorry.
abused for a long period of his childhood by a certain satanic worshiper who was very high up and powerful. He had the title of Master, which is something that both David and Khan
I'm
aspired
gonna look
to.
up when Henny.
This man had since died, I was told, but they could still speak to him through CJ.
They're talking to the
They
dead.
started calling out different parts of CJ who had been abused by the Master. CJ's voice, facial expression, and behavior would change with each one. Tara, a little girl that had came out fairly often, came out and was very timid and shy.
Oh, he died
Another
in
older one
2008.
came out and started fighting and yelling,
Is it
trying to get
Monson?
away. David Kahn tried to hold her down, but we're struggling. Angela Fenton did not really look it, but she could be incredibly strong at times,
DJ
like
would
the
know.
Hulk, David Kahn joked. They were sliding off the couch, trying to hold her, and David yelled out angrily for me to come help them. I scrambled over to help hold her legs down as he instructed, and she kicked me hard in the ribs. Kahn and David put their arms to the square, consistent with a priesthood blessing or ritual work. Held them up with the elbow bent and the fingers extended upward, and cut off this part and sent it to the outer darkness, Lucifer's kingdom. They did it a few times with more elaborate language, and she finally calmed down. Then they put their hands on CJ's head and called forth a legion of Lucifer spirits.
That just is disturbing
that
to
they
me.
said also resided in Angela to talk with them. CJ's face contorted again, and he spoke to Redacted and Kahn, who demanded that they speak to the highest officers and leader. Working until the early hours of the morning, 5 hours or so.
Oh, sounds like a...
David and Kahn sat on either side of
Oh my
CJ, holding him
God.
down and questioning these officers and leaders.
Y'all, that sounds like whenever Lori and them would do these Zoom meetings, or they would be, oh, we're going to work in the portal and we knocked out whatever. I'm telling you. That's that.
David and Kahn sat on either side of CJ, holding him down and questioning these officers and leaders.
And it also sounds like that Janet Russin or whatever. And so I think it's very hypocritical for a religion to denounce a medium, or, I mean, what's the difference? I'm sure there's doctrinal differences, but not if you're conjuring up damn devils here. Okay? I'm just saying, I think it's all intent. And just because you're propped up as a prophet and you're getting paid, follow the money, follow the profit with the F. I think, and the message I get whenever the Latter-day Saints do, and like what they have written down against priestcraft and things like that, and they say, oh hell, I usually remember that. If you follow false prophets, if you whatever, I don't know the whole spiel, but what I get out of it is they say anybody who is in exchange for money, okay, in money, offers blessings, healings, anything, okay, that's bad. Don't do that. But you keep that coming here, okay, because I am the prophet of this church, and I am in charge of your salvation. I am the medium. You have to go through me. I'm the troll. You got to pay the toll to cross the bridge. That bridge over there, that man and that woman, nobody knows what's on the other side. So stop letting people do that to you and enslave you. In my opinion, if it's doing good for you, great, awesome. But a lot of these things and a lot of these people, it's not good. So I just want you to be aware that that's it. Nobody holds that but you. You can have a relationship with God without anybody. You can pray without doing anything. You can just do it in your mind. It's a really freeing thing. And I just hate seeing people enslaved. And I mean, I have met so many people who would die defending their church, their leaders, everybody that they sustain. Okay? Everybody that they love and respect and look to as godly people and speaking for God. But I just don't like it. I don't like people being used and hurt and abused. And I definitely don't like the systematic thing. And I mean, they don't even try. They're just like, okay, yeah, we got bigger problems. Okay, write up that thing for Tim. Get it out to vicenews.com. Weird.
David wrote excitedly on his yellow notepad, and sometimes
Janet
Kahn took
Russin.
notes for him. David and Kahn often talked about how much they love to speak to these high-ranking spirits, trying to get doctrinal CS information and secrets out of
I mean,
them.
y'all about turned it
to
out.
learn the ways
Y'all
to-
about exploited the shit out. Okay. You done turned to the other side. Up is down. Now you're upside down and Alice in Wonderland. Oh my.
become
Ugh.
even more powerful in their satanic priesthood. For me, it was like living in a nightmare
Mm-mm.
or a horror movie to be
Can you
present.
imagine?
Each time a new spirit came out, they would demand something before they would tell.
Okay, this is bad. This page right here. I want you to see right here. It says the gathering. Okay. All right. So there's a bunch of things on here. I'm gonna try and go through it. Would demand something before mysteries of God. That's another one, but they're calling Lucifer. Okay. And require one of three things that this reminds me of the hear something, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, or follow him, whatever the come follow me is thing. I don't know. Kind of reminds me of that. And, they also talk about the separating the wheats from the tares. Okay. That's in just regular, everyday, all day scripture, separating the wheat and the tares and sweeping and gathering and scattering. I mean, I've seen it so many times. It stands out. And it says the gathering and other ceremonies where spirits make trades. Wonder what that is. This night, I was beaten several times by CJ. After I was attacked, Redacted and Khan would give me, listen to these healing blessings, where I had to do a S act with them as part of the effing blessing. Okay? You can have your damn blessings. Ugh. Assholes. I was always made to give CJ as a spirit that, okay, with the mouth several times. Okay, yeah, no, I'm good. Okay. And dance seductively. That's another one. Remember, Lori was, I never thought I'd dance again. Yeah, she was dancing again. And sending Chad Daybell her dirty ass dancing videos. Oh, nasty. Hoary Lori. Okay. Okay. Oh my God. It's bad. Here's that apprentice thing again. Apprentice, helper. It's nuts. All right.
David and Khan,
Ooh,
were
I'm going to cover my
mysteries
ears.
of God, or Lucifer.
Trigger warning.
Each spirit would look at me hungrily and generally require one of three things: that I do a sexual act on the spirit, Angela's body. The spirit do a sexual act, usually violent, on me.
Well, that tells me what
Or
Hamlin
the
thinks.
spirit physically beat and attack me. It was similar to the gathering and other ceremonies where spirits make trades. This night, I was beaten
Yeah,
several
you're
times by
alive.
CJ. After I was attacked, David and Khan would give me healing blessings where I had to do a sexual act with them as part of the blessing. I was made to give CJ as a spirit oral sex several times, put my fingers in her vagina and anus, rub and lick her anus, act like a dog while she humped me, rubbed herself on me from behind, fondled her breast several times, and danced seductively for she,
Oh my God.
Redacted, and Khan.
And this is
Or
normal to
David and
them.
Khan.
They're like,
David
oh,
and
okay.
Khan got aroused watching this, and Lucifer's spirits and Angela encouraged them to rape and sodomize me. Angela, as the spirit, would urge them. David raped me vaginally at least twice. Khan raped me one time and sodomized me one time. I also gave both of them oral sex once Khan
I'd
changed
have
the
bit
tapes
the
of the
damn thing
video
off.
camera several times during the night. Frequency. Sexual and violent experiences like this with
They're
CJ
like, what?
happen daily, often multiple times a day and night, when I was kept out of school as David's apprentice.
Kept out of school as David's apprentice. This is Jody with Jesse, and I think with Ruby and Kevin Frankie's little two there that were deemed dark, in my opinion. They were little zombies, little assholes, right? And so they do different, as far as I know, as much as I understand, they do different levels. Some, they're survivors, obviously, and there's some that aren't. There are some that are sacrificed. There are some that are, I mean, they do all kinds of weird shit with these kids and people, innocent people. And this has been happening since the beginning of time. How are we not able to stop it? How? It didn't just pop up. It's not just a new problem. No, it's been going on and on and on and on since the beginning, and I guess it'll be here till the end, until we get over ourselves a little bit and actually deal with the problem. I don't even know where to start.
Experiences occurred in Provo,
Take
Spring
care of
City,
yourself.
Alpine, Wildwood, other
Yourself.
places in Utah, on camping trips, etc.
Mm-mm.
Many people were interested in helping or working with CJ, including family, friends, Church of Satan members,
Mhm.
and clients of my father,
Right there. This reminded me of Melanie Gibb, David Warwick, all the little, you know,
etc.
all the et ceteras.
So that's
They're
a
like,
lot to
"What?"
unpack and pretty
It
heavy.
is. Look, he
for
looks like
listeners
he's
and
about to go
obviously
climb in
very
a hole.
graphic.
But there's something really distinct coming up. So
There is just something I want to call out
No.
because you've kind of gone back and forth in noting the redacted, both redacted and David. Is there a distinction in these documents where you're able to supplement a name as
Yeah,
opposed to
context is everything. So obviously, the only therapist who would have been present in the Provo home was David Lee Hamlin. He operated a home office
Hmm.
In his basement.
So did Jody.
You know that it's absolutely irregular for a therapist to move a patient into their personal residence.
Huh. There we go. Check that box too.
That is a breach of professional ethics.
Mhm,
It
I don't
goes
care.
against every bit of good practices for a mental health professional to do that.
Above the
On
law.
top of that, there is no valid professional reason for him to incorporate his minor child into that therapy.
That and this, I mean, especially when you have a multi-billion dollar, almost $1 trillion institution empowering you and encouraging you, and then it's like they trick them. I'm telling you, it's like Alex was the fall guy for Lori and Chad. I've said that before, but I really do think that Lori and Chad, they were fooled by the very elect, in my opinion. Okay, and so they were tricked by them Gadiant robbers who came and robbed those little kids. And then got them to think all effed up and backwards and upside down. I mean, I don't know how long this has been going working for them in backwards church and the upside down church. I don't know. It's scary. Imagine, that's when I always said, what about the rest of them? And I didn't know what the rest of them meant. I didn't know what the rest of the cult constituted of. And that scary feeling when they know who you are and you don't know who they are. And the people will kill for their beliefs. They will die for their beliefs, and they don't mind taking you out because everybody wants to be a hero, a Tim Ballard, a Jason Mao, and a warrior like Lori Vallow.
Especially not if it involves keeping her out of school.
So we know factually that she was his patient. That's not in question. We know factually that she was living with them. And what you read was the victim statement, from Rachel, which is one of several different victim statements, which is his daughter. So this is his daughter saying this is what she experienced.
Can you imagine?
And one of several
And
ways.
so imagine being those victims, and then there's all of us, right? And we're just unaware. We're maybe not. This was not on my radar at all. Okay. I remember earlier in the case, I think the kids were still missing even. And I was just learning Reddit, right? Through this case. And I would like kind of poke my head in the chat room and be like, what y'all talking about over here in the Satanism room? What y'all do anything Satan-y? I know y'all are doing good. Y'all are being good. Okay. And I just, because I was curious, I didn't know what it meant. And I think a lot of people don't know what it means. And I think that's for a reason. It's by design for sure, because what you allow is what will continue, and what will continue is what we've allowed, obviously. And it's time we stop, because it's not getting any better. It's like they're getting bolder, and they are in plain sight. They have inverted pentagrams in your face. They're not a respecter of persons, whomever they are. The people who are doing these bad things to people, to humans, to lives, real people, it's so sad. All these, just, y'all know, we see all these cases, all these Oh my God. It's like everybody's, I'm not saying it's a uptick or anything. It's not busier than usual, but it's bad. I really don't. I sit back and I think about these things a lot. I told you I think a lot. And I'm like, if there weren't these Gadianton, whatever the hell these are, satanic, whatever they are, they're not good people. I don't know what they're here. I don't know how they continue. I don't know how this goes. But I mean, would we even have as many murders as we do? Missing children, trafficked, kidnapped, tortured. If we didn't have this perverted thinking and this perverted belief systems, it's really got my brain spinning. I'm so sorry.
Witnesses.
Yeah,
It's
so
a lot to
we've
go
got
through.
Liza and we've got Katie who
It's so
can also
important.
corroborate this because they were present and they were aware of it.
Mhm.
So all three girls agree on this point.
And I know it's hard to hear for people. I mean, it's extremely.
Oh, what I was saying is I can't imagine what it's like for them to, let's say, run across a live stream where people are like, yeah, that's just false. That's just false memories. Yeah, they debunked that a long time ago, back in the 90s, that satanic panic thing, that thing that the church caused. And then, Glenn Pace, was in I don't know what his calling was in the church or how high he was. I don't know. I think it's 70. And then he did a bunch of research, probably the most anybody has done. He cared. And he turned in his research, and then the church sent him away on a mission. Why? Don't they want to eradicate this? Why? Isn't Russell M. Ballard, isn't he all about the children and he wants to point them to the Lord? Who's his Lord? Tylee and JJ were in the ground. Satan's that direction. I don't know. They went well together.
Extremely difficult to listen. It's dark.
Yeah.
We're
we
not
can get
interested
over
in the
he's so detached. Poor thing. Triggered.
I don't know the outlandishness of this, but our interest is if these things are true, how can we let these animals get away with this?
Why do we let these animals get away with this?
The factor here is whether or not David Lee Hamlin committed a crime. Now we know he committed a crime.
Well, and if these other people,
we know he molested,
and if these
daughters.
other people are associated with it,
hell yeah,
Gottfriedson, there needs to be justice for these
people.
If they really,
or they can babysit your kids.
Yes, and so Connor Dr. Gottfriedson also referred another individual.
Look at this hot mess. He looks like a chicken nugget.
David Lee Hamlin is a therapist.
A Mormon chicken nugget.
Brett Bluth was a returning missionary.
He
I'm sure a lot
spells
of
his company name.
A lot of people have heard about this.
People have heard about that because it's front and center in the current coverage.
That's Brett Bluth.
But he was the Alpine West stake president in 2003 to 2013.
Oh, look at there.
Previously, he was a bishop. Based on our research, we believe that it was from 1994 to 1999. He was a bishop.
Yeah, right there during the satanic panic.
Stake president. He referred both Angela Fenton and returning missionary Brett Bluth to David Lee Hamlin. Bluth's report.
This is just my conjecture here, but from studying this for so long and just kind of, here's one of my little theories. I'm thinking, and it's always generalized, right? Because I'm just trying to this is my feel. I'm feeling my feelers are out, and this is my reading from that feeler, from the feelings, the vibes. And I can just picture this whole satanic panic. Whomever these people that are doing it, these projector people, I don't know what to call them, assholes, evil, dead, should be. These people are projecting exactly that problem, that to where you project it and make it sound so bizarre and so crazy. And I know this because I've played these scenarios out in my head about Lori and how I never heard her. I never have seen anywhere where she thought she was, besides my uncle saying it, that she was a god, that she was a member of the 144,000 sent here to carry out to bring in the second coming. That is another common thread in all these things, is the second coming. Okay. I think this is a pickup line. It's kind of like the like-minded people thing. And it's they're baiting them. Okay. Because there are higher people up in the church. A lot of people have dumbed down and dismissed my cries for help. Hey, I know it sounds crazy. Trust me, I'm right there with you. But I mean, I've seen crazier shit go down in all this. And I mean, it's the easiest way that my mind just like, it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And I don't have to do 800 hours of mental gymnastics to get there. I'm like, oh yeah, that's cut and dry. Like boom, boom, boom. There it is. It's like whenever I started to, when I had to get around that part of like, okay, so these guys, they're just men. Okay, they're just normal dudes, right? They're not holier than thou. The Pope is not. I don't look at him that way. I just don't. So whenever I started looking at these corporate Jesuses, these entities, they're giants. They're what? I forget the word. They're huge. All they worried about is money, power, and sex. Okay, money, power, sex. That's it. They just are gross and shallow, and they don't think further than their you know what. And so every time, like the whole July 22nd thing, I'm like, how much of this is made up? How much of this is maybe put out there? Because really never hear anything from the actual church. You only hear it from the members. Think about that. So you're getting everybody's point of view. You're getting everybody's opinions. And God, we all have opinions. They're just like assholes. Everybody has one. Okay. And oh my God, it's been such a rough, rocky road this entire time, because I've had a bazillion people say, we don't teach 144,000. I'm like, what? It's in the damn Bible. And then you come to find out that, they don't really adhere to the Bible as long as it's translated correctly. And then that's false. And that's just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't rhyme or reason. It just don't check out. It's like one of them weird things. And I'm like, what do you mean it's translated correctly? That don't even make sense. Here, let me translate it correctly. Okay, narcissist, there you go. You get a sucker. It's that justification and that self-grandizing. I love it when you call me Big Papa, right? It's freaking gross. And then they're like, I'm just saying this on the LDS religion. They're like, yeah, no, one wife's not enough. And so we would like to have as many as we want. Okay, thank you. And, they'll run with it. And then they confuse their people with it too. They don't take it off the table all the way. They just kind of leave it dangling there like a carrot. And then when the couple actually goes and they go to take a bite out of that carrot, they're like, ooh, you should have been faster. You should have been faster with their dollar bill and their fishing line, right? And that hook. And then boom, Tylee and JJ is dead, and Chad backyard, Tammy's dead, and her kids ain't got no, her grandkids don't have a grandmother now, and so on and so forth. Charles is dead. He never gets to even meet his grandkids, right? JJ's here. He don't get to live his life, and Tylee don't get to drive her damn Jeep one more day. And so here we are. So we do get here. How do we not? There's got to be an easy way.
Daybell was the trigger for the investigation that led to Hamlin losing his license.
I don't like him. Look, his face is weird.
What Brett Bluth realized in talking to other patients of David Lee Hamlin was that he was running the same game on them that he was running on Brett Bluth, trying to convince them that they had revealed satanic ritual abuse in their childhoods.
Doesn't that sound like some 1990s stuff, where they were projecting? They were projecting these enablers, because if they're not, in this game, in this dark, whatever the hell this is, this network of, I'm not going to call them Satanists, or I don't know what to call them, because all they're going to do is take that. They're going to politicize whatever label they throw out there, because that's all that church does is throw out labels. I do know that. I didn't know labels until until this case happened, until my family was murdered. And then I was like, wait, what? I don't know all these things, y'all orthodox. And I mean, y'all sound so smart. Y'all are so smart. And I mean, I admire that. I look up to you guys for that. And I'm jealous. I'm not a little jelly. I'm not gonna lie. Cause I'm just all, frumpy and I don't know, down to earth. I don't know what to call it. Silly and I don't know. But I look up to you guys because you guys are organized. Just know that. You guys are the most organized people, and I do admire that for sure. Because I miss that gene completely, and being on time. So I appreciate, and I mean, it takes all of us to make the world go round. That's for sure. You are needed. You is kind, you is smart, and you is important. We all are. And the sooner we come to terms with that and know that all we have is us, and that we don't depend on flesh, the arms of the flesh, whatever the hell that saying is, then I think the sooner, we can be on to better, higher roads, and doing the damn thing like we should have been doing. I don't understand what creates this. I don't understand what allows this to continue. It's weird. It's disturbing. And it's unnecessary. And so I always said there's something creating this. They're pumping them out 2 by 2, just like Noah's Ark, right? And, sealing them up in the temple with these fake ass, they're fake. It's just like, it's just words, and it's just how we hold it. It's what it means to us. That's where it gets its power. We give things power like money and value. That becomes a thing. And we don't even extend that out to ourselves, much less anybody else. We can't love anybody else until we love ourselves. And that's hard to do, right? But we try. We do the best we can. There's got to be a better way. I'm down. I want to do it. I know you guys do too. Thank y'all for hanging in. I don't know when we'll
while under hypnotherapy.
Stop.
Brett Bluth strenuously denied ever being under hypnosis for real. He said that he was aware the entire time of what was going on. He disputed David Hamlin. Said, "I did not tell you that I was ritually abused as a child." And David Lee Hamlin told him that if you don't acquiesce to this,
I'm a mushroom stand.
You will continue to struggle with homosexuality. This culminated in David Lee Hamlin coming up with the idea that Brett Bluth should perform oral sex on him because the semen of a righteous man could drive out the semen of the wicked man who had abused him and therefore caused his homosexuality.
I want to castrate him.
So a homosexual act to cure yourself of homosexuality, basically.
Yeah.
That's how work
projection.
And this was all in the news. What was it? A couple of years ago?
Yeah, last year it came out. So Conrad Arthur Gottfredson allegedly participated in the abuse of the Hamlin daughters. He allegedly filmed the abuse of the Hamlin daughters.
Awesome. There's that Jesus movie. Found it.
Yeah, he's still with Apply Synergies.
I think what's hard is you look at this guy, and to me, I see a nice guy.
No, he looks like
that's the
I don't
thing
even
you
know.
Understand. Like in 22 years of investigating very
Like
evil
snowball.
people, they don't look evil.
Yeah, he does.
Like we have kind of a cartoon vision of what evil is in the wider culture. That it has, a forked tongue and horns.
I can feel it.
And a tail.
Sometimes,
and it
most
have that.
time.
It looks normal.
Yeah.
Looks like an average person.
Plain sight.
Pedophiles would not be successful and have 150 to 185 victims over the course of their
There you go.
lifetimes if they look like pedophiles.
Preach it.
They have to blend in, and they're very good at blending
Yes,
in.
they are.
So he is currently Angela Fenton's
But they also
employer at
stand
Apply
out.
Synergies.
It's like,
She has since relocated to Hawaii, and she apparently works for
Hawaii.
Ballard for Apply Synergies.
I just called that right, Hawaii. That's in the Mormon belt, the Mormon door.
He testified in Hamlin's divorce proceedings.
Oh, he did.
Yes.
Okay. Are we going to see that?
For who?
Yeah. So David Lee Hamlin's patient abuse is confirmed by both Doppel's investigation of Hamlin's own admissions, as well as the court in Hamlin's divorce, to say nothing of the corroborating witness statements or victim statements of his daughters. These are not allegations.
They're true.
David Lee Hamlin admitted to sexually abusing his patients as a therapist, yet he was never prosecuted.
Nope.
Doppel, DCFS, Provo Police, and the Utah County Attorney's Office apparently never followed up to interview Hamlin's underage patients in his therapy practice to see if they had been abused.
Just underage.
Because it was known at the time that he treated children as a therapist. In fact, one of those children is currently one of the adults alleging that Hamlin abused him during therapy sessions in one of the current criminal cases out of American Fork.
I think that's that
It's
Brett
a
Bluth,
boy
right? Is it?
that Hamlin was a therapist for. He's now an adult, and he's come forward to allege that
Kind of like,
David Lee Hamlin-
that's like Jesse too, because Jesse filed a report. And I mean, I don't know. I don't really. I know that she lost her license for a little while, but wasn't that because of Adam Steed? And I mean, I doubt anything was really done with that. And so they're allowing Jesse to testify now, and Jesse, will be able to basically corroborate what's been alleged to have happened with Ruby Frankie's children when they do go to court. That's what I picked up from all the things, that I've watched on Jesse. But they did the same thing. Jesse did the same thing and filed a report and nothing, right? And so here it is again. Sounds just like that dude from wherever the hell, I forgot already.
Hamlin abused him while Hamlin was his therapist. This could have been identified in 1999 and 2000.
And then eradicated. There you go, Tim Ballard. We got you, boo.
Doppel simply investigated and followed up with all of David Lee Hamlin's patients and their parents if they were still minors.
So I think from what you've been saying, one of the people might say, well, why did Utah County Attorney's Office follow up, or why was there no, if all this stuff was known, why was there no
repercussions,
justice? Why did no one go after it?
This
and I
is
think
how it
one of the things you're going to
continues.
talk about is that, and I think everyone probably heard it in the news last year about David Levitt.
Oh yeah.
And apparently David Levitt, who is the Utah County attorney, apparently is involved in this. I think you're probably going to get into that.
He projected. He interjected himself in there.
Protects each other at all costs, which is exactly what secret combinations are, which is funny because if there's one state that should be aware of what secret combinations are, it should be Utah.
Hallelujah.
Yes. Ironically, and if there's one state their secret combinations apparently are thriving, it is Utah.
Yes.
The one spot they shouldn't be.
Allegedly,
always said,
secret
"Sweep around your
combinations
porch."
are thriving. So to recap it, by 2003, it's known and on the record that David Lee Hamlin had sexually abused multiple patients in his therapy practice. It was known that he had moved one of those patients, Angela Fenton, into his home in Provo, and he used his daughter Rachel during therapy sessions with Fenton. It was known and on the record that David Lee Hamlin had sexually abused two of his daughters and had administered peyote to his children. He was not arrested or prosecuted for any of this. The other thing is he moved a 30-year-old woman with multiple personality disorder into his home in Provo, and his home is surrounded by other homes. It's in a neighborhood of other alleged CS members.
Bam.
It's not like he was hiding.
If you see something, say something, right? There's Jessie with her duct tape. I mean, with their duct tape. There's Lori. She's stripping all her children's comforts and securities, everything from them, and they're just cool with it, stuck like Velcro and shit. And they don't say nothing until, cops are calling, right? And then it takes somebody to talk her into it. Then she got to practice and call a friend that you don't even know to practice her little story. And she sounds cocky doing it. Melanie Gibb. Shame on you, girl. Don't hug my mama's neck or my dad's.
Or he was discreet about what he was doing.
We're not friends.
So do a lot of these CS members live in communities together? They go to the same church together?
Mhm.
Is that
One of the
the way
central
they
allegations in the victim statements.
Until the next recruiter, Jason Mao, meets another Lori in the temple, and he's like, "Oh, I looked into your eyes, and I just knew that you were one of us. You're a gatherer. Come to the gathering, girl. Come on, here, grab you a righteous priesthood holder here. He needs an extra wife. We'll do this little sealing that only we know. It's so secret. It's a secret combination, right?" It makes so much sense to me. I mean, it doesn't, but it fits in this genre. This is its little niche right here. This is where Lori and Chad Park right here.
Was that CS members select places to live based on whether or not there is an existing CS presence in that neighborhood.
CS
Because that
sure.
way they can practice their ordinances. It's usually home ordinances without any interference by the neighbors.
Yep.
Because the neighbors, even if they do notice something, they're doing the same thing.
And for anybody who's going to be an apologist for the church right now and say that Lori and Chad did not seal in the temple, Melanie Gibb, her BFF there, Velcro, Marinate, placed them inside of the temple in her court testimony, her trial testimony at Lori's trial. Not in the sealing room, though. She almost put them in there, but not the holy one. Not the holy one.
So when we did a property records analysis, myself and Isaiah.
Yeah, they do a lot of land research here.
We did property records analysis of Utah County property records for the people named in the Hamlin victim statements. And what we found was they continually lived in the same clustered areas in certain neighborhoods down like Little Rock Drive
Chad's
and whatnot.
clustered
and they still
there.
do.
That's what he told me.
And they were right across the street from each other, or they were in the same condominium complexes. They bought up all of the property. They only transferred
Yeah, they go to church with you.
to other members of the group. They didn't sell outside of the group. That was a pattern that appeared over and over.
That's
and over.
Mormonism. Mormons do not. They're like, oh, hey, yeah. They don't hardly even like. I'll go into, other like ex-Mormon content creators, and they do not. They will not reach out or call or text back, or they never respond really. And I'm just like, okay.
Again, when we analyzed the property records in Utah County,
But I know that's how they were
Sanford,
raised.
and elsewhere. And so that's an explanation for how they got away with it for so long, because they were the neighborhood.
Mhm.
And that's
and
exactly
the judge
And they held callings. There you
that's
go.
exactly what the Hamlin daughters
Places of
alleged. They
uh,
said that was the case, and we found
authority.
corroborative evidence to substantiate that. That's one of the things that's very difficult here.
I'm right here.
Victims lie.
Yep.
They're human. The issue is I've been on this for over a year, and I have not found a single lie, exaggeration, embellishment at all on the part of these girls. If I did find it, I would advertise it. But everything they have said, the evidence that I've looked at corroborates it and proves it.
All right, let me lift this up. I'm going to scoot, and that way we can dismiss. I want to get. Oh gosh. Okay, I'm gonna make y'all blind, and I'm sorry. Where's the damn chapters? Where the hell? Shadows. Oh, they're up there. No, that's the name of the damn video. Y'all, it's my first day. I'm brand new. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. We'll look at the house. Here's the house. Oh hell. One day, allegedly.
Gordon Bowen is that,
and he just bought a castle. Okay,
CS.
David
He's
Levitt
the one
bought a
who
damn
deals with
castle,
them.
and it was on
He could
Dateline.
kill you. He could
And now
torture
the
you.
and now the episode is
do any
removed.
number of things to you. He can do whatever he wants. So you asked me to bring a video of his home on Yale Avenue
Lifestyle
where
of
this
the rich
allegedly
and the famous, right?
occurred.
So like this, and also I didn't really follow John Bonet or whatever, but I feel like this is what happened to that little girl. They had a something. They were on opposite land with opposite land people, satanic, whatever church of Satan, and I think that's what happened. I don't even really know, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to offend anybody. It just fits. It fits.
So this video is from a real estate agency that listed.
It reminds me of Sean Reyes'
that home.
house.
I'm surprised they even put this on the market. Wasn't it usually sold between
Yeah,
Church
they
of
had-
Satan members?
They had to
or
move to
families?
Scotland, buy a castle.
Well, they
and shit.
publicly advertised it. Now, the family that bought
Okay.
it ultimately
Who in the Frankie family plays a harp?
wound up selling it to Westminster College.
So when you read these girls' victim statements, they describe this home.
Yes.
And it's and the paint you and it's exactly as it is.
Stuttering like I
So
do.
yes, I mean, as you'll see, there are balconies. The girls played harp at public performances.
Boom.
They played it on the balconies at Gordon Bowen's home in Salt Lake.
Gordon
For the
Bowen.
elites of the CS. When
They
were
would hang
invited
from
up
the
to Salt
ceilings.
Lake, it was the creme de la creme of the CS crowd. It was the rich people.
Oh, even the very elites.
Basically, what you're getting into is you're talking about a house that conforms. It has a pool on
It's
the
got to
property.
say
Of the
panic
4
room.
properties that I linked Gordon Bowen to in Salt Lake
got-
around the avenue.
It's got all the state of the art MLM ADP company, you know, like the security companies that all the MLMs.
In the surrounding neighborhoods, this is the one that fits the description. At the time, it was undergoing remodeling. So in 1999, they would have been living, Gordon and his family
I got to go fix my own damn
would have
plumbing
been
soon.
living in the Harvard Avenue house behind this one. They would have not been present in this one. This one would have been undergoing a remodel. Every one of his properties, he
First world problem.
extensively remodels and redecorates.
And these aren't
like
just
the
houses,
temples.
these are multi-million-dollar mansions.
And I just want you to know my feelings on the whole temple dedication and rededication. Every time they say Hosanna, Hosanna to God and the Lamb, and it gets everybody in the congregation to wave the little white Kleenexes or whatever and do that, that's just sealing the deal, boo. They already, you know, spilt the blood, did whatever they needed to do, sacrificed, live in the Old Testament. That was done away with, allegedly. I don't know scriptures, but I mean, that's what I've gathered. No more temples are to be built, I think. It just seems so opposite of what's supposed to be going on. As far as Christianity goes, I don't really know. It doesn't match.
So
The hearts of the people do. They don't know any different.
Going over there at night, I talked to sources who indicated that he would go over there at night to quote unquote check on the work that was being done. So he would have had this house to himself to do what's going to be described in the next victim statement section.
Okay, trigger warning.
So this is the second victim.
Here's the
second
Punisher.
visit to
Here's old
Gordon's home.
Gordo.
We, Rachel.
You've heard about him
This
and
is-
Lynn
this is
Packer.
definitely for those with.
Oh, actually,
in
it's
their hearts,
after.
they
Oh,
fast
look, there's the
forward.
work table.
This
Oh
is-
my God, work tables. Ew. Okay, yeah, no.
This is one of the most disturbing. This is the
This
most
reminds me of
disturbing
Tylee.
thing I've ever seen in my life.
Poor baby.
So we, Eliza, Katie, and I went to Gordon's house again a short time later. This time, Rosie said she was going to talk with him, and we were to support everything she said, or she would make good on her previous threat. We got there, and no one was home.
That sounded like whenever Jesse said, I really hang on to people's words. I'm sorry. Whenever Jesse said that they would go on calls with their aunt Jody and visit clients, and then they had to say whatever their aunt Jody told them to say, or else there would be hell to pay. Right? Same thing.
House again a short time later. This time, Rosie said she was going to talk with him, and we were to support everything she said, or she would make good on her previous threat.
Mm-hmm.
We got there, and no one was home. Rosie made a big dinner as before.
Oh, this is also another pattern that I picked up in here is this it's like the Last Supper. Huh?
Gordon came home, and
Crazy.
Rosie offered him dinner.
Hmm.
Then we sat in his library.
That's
It
Rosie.
was very dark outside by then, and the
And
room was not well lit.
He bats for the other
Gordon
team.
sat on the side of his chair with his ankle crossed on his knee, listening to Rosie. She started talking about our hardships, what David was doing, defending him, but trying to make herself look like the victim at the same time.
Oh, persecution
She kept
complex.
trying to find out, without asking directly and with a lot of flattery, what the council had planned for she and David.
So they're controlling their relationship.
I kept thinking about how, all growing up, David had talked about the gifts Gordon had from Lucifer. He said he had a very powerful gift of discernment from Lucifer.
Yeah,
You could
no.
tell if you were lying to him. That is partly how he became the Punisher, they said.
He's lying to him damn self. First off, because he likes his same sex. And his church does not believe in that. Yet he's all around President Hinckley. He was a Mormon prophet. He was around M. Russell Ballard. This is no relation to Tim Ballard. Anyways. And he also was given or paid $20 million from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to for the new design, the new Jesus logo there that sported and touted, in the Boy Scouts and stuff. Got to market territory,
Rosie tried to make us chime in with her, but most of the time we were too intimidated to speak. After a while, he stood up and he said he wanted to show us what he was working on. He talked about how much he loved his work for the church. CS.
Oh, that's kind of like calling dropping there. That's kind of like,
He took us to his work area, and I became overwhelmed with what I saw. There was a dead man's body hanging from the ceiling, and it had been completely skinned.
What?
I had seen skinning before, but never on the scale or this cleanly or expertly done.
Think about this. I saw all the knives. I was there. That's when I saw the monkey mask. I saw the monkey mask. I saw at Lori's trial. I saw Tyvek suits. I saw rope. I saw duct tape and a bunch of like army knives, tactical knives, all kinds of knives. Knives. Alex, he's a special one, him. And
parts of the area were well lit and parts were not. There were machines in what looked like a fridge. He talked about some of them. There were large work tables with movable straps and other devices to hold someone down.
Okay. Y'all know where we're going with this. I feel so bad for those children, but I am so thankful that that boy got out, however he got out, because they were locked. Panic room. I don't know. Because I think they were next up for sacrifice. I really do. I have.
One had lights like in a surgery room, and another had just one overhead hanging light. Are you going to be okay?
Yeah.
All right. In another area, he had a collection of torture devices. A lot of them were antique. He talked about some of them and what they did to people's bodies. I kept looking over at what I thought were mannequins set up in sexual or violent poses around the room. Then he showed us his mask.
They're like, hey, Ted Bundy, come on over. You'll be right at home.
Mannequins set up in sexual or violent poses around the room. Then he showed us his mask.
I need monkey mask.
Many members of the Church of Satan, have collections of masks around the world, ceremonial mask or death mask. For example, Brian Krishnisnik and others.
An artist.
Also, Rosie loved to talk about how she got to see Joseph and Hiram Smith's death mask.
Oh, sounds like she's
Gordon
been to
probably had 30 to 40, but they were made from the skin of real dead people, men, women, and all ages of children that had been disobedient, he said. Rosie was trying to flatter him and have him talk about how he made them. He showed us his drawers of his special tools that he collected in his travels and talked about how important it was to preserve the facial features. The mask had the hair still on, and the eyes and the mouth were slits or a little more stretched open. He took one down and made us touch it. He said the people's spirits were still in these masks. He talked about how he would treat the skin to make it soft.
It puts lotion on its skin. I'm sorry. I got to break it up. Laugh. Everybody laugh. Everybody do the hokey pokey and turn yourself around. If not, you'll be upside down like them. Okay.
He put a woman's mask on his head and he laughed. He showed us coats and other pieces of clothing he had made with the pieces of many people's skins and dried sexual organs. He also had some shrunken heads. Rosie kept complimenting him, and she told him that we were she and David's offering to Gordon for his kindness to them. She said he could do anything he wanted with us. Eliza and I looked at each other horrified. He turned like we were all leaving, and we followed.
This sounds
Rosie
familiar.
took the lead, looking over her shoulder and talking to him all the way. She walked out of the door to his work area, and instead of us All going, he shut the door and locked it behind her.
Jessie moment. Her parents left her. Didn't even tell her. She was taking a nap at their Aunt Jody's. And they wake up and their parents are gone, and she is they are in that hellhole with their aunt, and nobody to save them because everybody looks away. Everybody either is complicit or enables it or doesn't say anything at all, which is still making a choice. It still enables it. It is still making a choice. You're not doing anything. You're just coexisting. You're not. These kids need us. And I mean, even when I was a little girl, I needed somebody strong. You know, it's real.
From what we heard,
one too many of us,
she didn't knock or yell or get upset. All we heard was silence. Then we experienced hours and hours
Sounds like
of torture.
isolation. Yeah.
We were naked most of the night. He told us that the mannequins were actually fully preserved outer shells of real people.
Zombies? Oh, I just thought of that. Zombie? Looks like Chad and Lori. Absent.
Their skin, hair, etc. Some were more stiff than the mask. He had sewn some seams so another person could wear them. They were hung over posable wire bodies. Gordon put on the full skin of a man with the crotch cut out and raped.
Of course he did. Yeah.
Me anally, praising Lucifer. He made me wear another man's skin that had no hands and feet, and the crotch could open. He did this with Eliza at different times, and also made us do sexual acts on each other with the skins on.
What
he told us that he could make
friends with
Lucifer's
freaking Mitt
spirits move
Romney.
the bodies around on their own.
He's
He made us sit or lie down on his torture devices or on his table while he demonstrated or nearly demonstrated his torture collection. He chained us up to his tables and inserted tools and devices into our vaginas and anuses.
Ooh.
At times, he chained us to the walls in shackles. He put cloth bags over our heads and made us listen as one of us was threatened with torture.
I have fear of this for these kids, for Tylee and JJ for sure. It wasn't nice. It wasn't pretty. We know that. But it was way worse because not only was their mother betraying them, their mother, she'd already stripped away everybody else. Anybody else, everybody else, every comfort, everything. That's what a fucking narcissist does. Okay. She dehumanized them. She called them zombies. She drughead baby, zombie, just whatever it was to depersonalize them, to dehumanize them, to distance herself from whatever has created her, and or that means she would have had to submit her free will, and everybody has it. So I don't know when that happened, but it happened, or whatever. I don't know. I don't really care. But I can imagine those babies, like, just as they're being taken out, and just with that overwhelming betrayal, like, oh my God, Mom, what are you doing? Why are you hitting? What? Can you imagine if little Velcro is right next to her with her little boy toy, which is gross, by the way. I picture him with the biggest, reddest, blackest, whatever, the big daddy hood, like, the robe, like he's in there like swimwear. Okay. He's high up in there. And I always have gotten that feeling about him, and it's never gone away. And I picture them, seeing their mother's friends or whatever. That's some big air quotes back here. But people that you go to church with, these are people that you go to church with. These are people that they went to church with. This is their mother. That's the one person, when you're a kid, that's your lifeline. That is your, you don't know any different, I'm so sorry, wheezing. But I can imagine the betrayal that these victims feel, so alone, isolated, not cared for, helpless, and abandoned. And that'll break a soul. That'll break a spirit. All right. Oh my God. Ugh.
He had animal heads and skins that we had to wear, and he led us around on a leash.
Hmm.
We were supposed to act and sound like the animal. I had to wear dog skin and lick him, give him oral sex, and bark like a dog. He made me lift my leg and pee on my sister. Then he called me a bad dog, whipped me with chains, and took the skin off of me. He put me in a small wooden box. I could hear the sounds of him doing things to one of my sisters, but I couldn't see anything. The air was hot, and the space was so small and tight. I could barely move my body. My arms and legs went to sleep and were extremely painful. I wished we could all die. When he took me out, I couldn't feel my legs.
They're breaking them, their spirits. And I mean, I don't even wish this on the actual murderer, Lori. I don't wish this on nobody. I don't wish bad on anybody. I just know that karma got that. Karma has that. Because I believe in you reap what you sow, and you put it out there, it will come back. You don't know when, but it will. And it's usually at the most inopportune time. But I don't even wish for prisoners to go in a hole, or, I have a brother that has been in and out of jail a lot. And I don't wish that on him. I don't wish it on anybody. I don't want to break anybody. I want to build them up. Don't take that as I want to build Lori up. I mean, I don't know where that goes. I don't know. I just know that I'm not here to destroy anybody. That's not in my spirit to destroy. Yes, we get mad. Yes, we take things out. We project. There's things about ourselves that we don't like. And so we take it out on everybody else around us because we don't know how to deal with feelings, because it's not cool to talk about feelings. It just never was really cool to talk about feelings, not in the era or the genre that I grew up in, but it's cool to talk about feelings. It really is. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's something wrong with somebody who tells you you shouldn't feel, or you're weird or whatever, that's so shitty. So, it's backwards world, upside down.
And fell on the floor. I lay there until the feeling came back in my legs.
I think I'm just being triggered.
Once in a while, he went out, and several times Rosie brought him food on a tray to the door, not for us. Once he worked on one of the skins.
We'll finish this one out.
We were not allowed out until afternoon of the next day. We had urinated his commandor by accident, and he had urinated and ejaculated all over us throughout the night. He had put other fluids from his work area on us. Our body had red masks all over them, and red marks all over them, and were already showing bruises. My vagina and anus stung. Rosie put towels on the seat of the car, disgusted by how gross we were. No one wanted to sit in the front with Rosie, and no one talked on the way home.
Who would want to sit by their mother?
Rosie and I put Eliza and Katie in the same seatbelt in the middle seat. A day or two later,
this is the weirdest part to me.
In the middle of the night, Rosie woke me up, and she and Richard grilled me alone on every detail of the experience.
They just wanted to hear all about it, right? So backwards.
Or possibly David.
Let me see where we're at.
Grilled.
And so here's this fine fuck, okay?
This is Gordon Bowen.
Ugh.
He is the alleged Church of Satan
piece of shit.
High Council Punisher in Salt Lake City, Utah. He's an advertising executive and the co-founder of his current agency, Dentsu McGarry Bowen.
Executive now.
Yeah, I'm really thankful for the Sound of Freedom, and it woke
Check
up
this.
a lot of mothers and fathers who want to stand up and defend children.
We'll end on this.
And the thing of my frustration with Sound of Freedom is that it makes it seem like this stuff's all going on in a third world country.
Amen,
and for
brother.
all of those mothers and fathers that said, I'm going to stand and fight for children.
It's right here.
You got testimonies of several little girls right here. And we're going to show you who this guy is. And we're going to show you facts of who he is and other things that come in his life. And if you and that collaborate with these girls.
Mm-hmm.
And for all those of you who say, well, I want to care about freedom, I'm going to go out and protect the traffic, the kids, I'm going to donate to OUR. This is in your freaking backyard. And we know we're giving you.
Sometimes the kids are found in the backyard, right? Oh, I like this dude right here, right now.
Names.
Mm-hmm.
For the men out there, what does it mean to be a man? It means to be a protector. And all these men, I'll tell you, afraid to even come on this show because they know what's here.
Mm-hmm.
Who's protecting these kids? You know, and all these moms, well, I don't want to touch it. I don't want to look at it. It's too dark. It's too
And
dark.
Russell Ballard is.
That's why this has gotten where it's gotten since the 80s, because
Yeah.
no one has the balls to say enough's enough. We're going to look into this.
And again, this is
Or they
not
do away with it.
speculation. This is substantiated court documents, victim statements.
That are being hidden and suppressed.
That's a cult.
Show us who Gordon Bowman is, who is still around. The guy who designed the church's logo, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
He's accused of raping
He just
Rachel,
goes right
Eliza,
back.
and Katie Hamlin.
Okay.
He was
let's-
exposed in his divorce proceedings as a homosexual man with predilections for gay male escorts.
There you go. He likes them Jeffrey Epstein massages. And I mean, Tim Ballard been talking about an island, right? Islands in the stream. Joking. This is so bad. Oh my God. Look, I've been like this, you know. All right, everybody, let's just shake it out. Ooh. Thank y'all. That was triggering. And it's just, you're just like, what? And you don't even, that's bad. It's just bad. And it hurts, you know, it hurts. And we're not even them. We're not even the victims. I don't think we're here. I'm just saying, like Tylee and JJ and many kids and victims before them. And there's many afterwards. And I don't understand. I couldn't even imagine cannibalism or what it would do. I watched Alive. I watched that movie Alive. And I was just like, I don't know. But I mean, whatever. That's different. It's different. This is just optional, making it's psychological warfare. And somebody's getting off on this. Like somebody's like, yeah. So who is that person? Because holy hell. That is a monster. That is a monster right here. This piece of shit taking up real estate right there. Move. And so he is best buds with M. Russell Ballard. That's his homie. And Mitt Romney's 3 sons lived with him in his apartment in New York. So there's a lot of crap there. And woo. That was a hard one. Not in a sexual way. Sounded bad. Oh, okay. I'm sending the link from the Fox 13 News. Let me grab the link for this channel right here if you want to go and just and finish watching this, or watch it. I had to watch it like 4 times and just to kind of get my bearings on it, because it's a little confusing with the redactions and everything, and it's confusing because you're getting sucker punched with all the atrocious or all the atrocities. And this is real life for people, for actual people. So I agree with him right there when he said it's in your backyard. Tim, if he wants to sit there and toot a big old horn because that's flashy and whatever, okay. I have been against the trafficking thing, and then when my eyes landed on Tim when that initial investigation came out from Fox, Fox 13 is where I learned about it from. And I have been watching them like white on rice, like stink on poo. And I don't know what it is. There's something about him I don't like, I don't trust. And, he goes on that little, on the History Channel, I want to say, with, I can never think of her damn name, the Joseph Smith Foundation, Hannah something. And they talk about these pentagrams and stuff like that. And they justify. There's a lot of justification here. I even heard the other day, and I don't know if it's actually coming from Tim or if people are just really trying to smear him. I don't know. I don't know. And I mean, we don't have to know. We don't know all the facts. We don't know all the things. I know none of it's good from all sides. None of it's good. And there's so many victims in his wake from all the people he lied about rescuing, collected and defrauded people, trust. So now people are going to turn away from the problem because they don't want to be duped. People are tired of being fucking duped. And somebody who's going to exploit and pretend like they're going to save some children, that's right up there with the churches. Like, hey, we got your salvation right here. Come and get it. Oh, you got to be quicker than that. That's where it's a learned behavior, in my opinion. And so the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And so, it's all Tim knows. I'm not saying it's right, but if you lead by example, then you ain't got to deal with this shit. Okay, so stop making them psycho. Stop electroshocking, whatever, electrocuting. Stop fucking with people. Okay, be a respecter of persons, church. Practice what you preach, church. Stop being vague. Blurred lines suck. Unless you're on some really good shit. No, I'm joking. I really don't know. But I love you guys. Yeah, he said deploy the shuckster. He's an asshole. I said that under my breath. It's good to see you. Hey, Gary Chadwick. Tim should start with his own religion. He would have to even go across state lines. Right? I'm telling you, I think him, and from what I read at Fox 13 News earlier today, and then I'm so low. And I had, there was a video out for like 2 days now, and it was Adam Herbets, and he was asking Sean Reyes. He was like, oh yeah, so how about them charges? And Reyes is like, what charges? I'm here to talk about settlement money. Is this about settlement money? Whatever they were talking about. And he evaded the question because, and then he looked a little perturbed. Like you can read him. Like he actually, I don't know, you can see it on his face. Some of these guys are really good and really do fool a lot of people. But I really think that from watching all of Lynn Packer's videos, I think if it wouldn't be for a lot of Lynn's work, this wouldn't even be taking place because I like what he does. He's good at what he does. He seems to have integrity and, don't do shitty shit. Okay. Tim and friends, don't do shitty shit. Okay. Be your brother's keeper. Don't sit there and be trying to screw people over. Okay. There's a whole lot of that. And it just gets worse and worse. Right. But from what I got from Lynn Packer's reporting about how it was like a fake OUR graduation or something, OUR hookers, that one too. And they, like Tim and friends, they took a jet or Tony Robbins jet or something to one of them countries down there, and then went to another country with like 10 women. There you go. That's jumping. That's trafficking. They're dum-dums. And then they hauled them back they landed in Florida, which, and they flew in Tony Robbins' plane. Ew. And then they took a trip to the White House. Why? I don't know. That's dumb. Then they went to not BYU. I figured it would be BYU where they would do this proxy. Shocker, right? A proxy. Nothing baptizing the dead, all kinds of proxy shit going on over here. But instead of doing it at BYU, a fake graduation or whatever, which I'm assuming they lied to these girls or whatever, promised these girls some kind of education. You come to America, we'll give you an education, girl. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So they go to the University of Utah, whatever. Yeah. U of U. And they have this proxy, or Lynn Ballard calls it a fake graduation. And these girls get actual certificates, diploma, whatever it is that I don't know the exact thing, but and so now they're trying to get records. The government's trying to get records, I think, or maybe Lynn was. Don't quote me on that. Trying to get the the FOIA request, the grandma request, to find out more about the comings and goings around that. And so here we go with this complicitness, and in my opinion, enables it. This is that thing where the U of U is not wanting to turn over. I don't even know how that works, but not wanting to turn over unredacted copies. Okay, Idaho. That's what that sounds like to me. It's like, ain't nothing. These children's bodies were desecrated, okay? Lori, her health care doesn't matter. Her HIPAA doesn't matter. She lost her rights. Joking. I'm just being passive aggressive right now, but no, it's not a good idea for them to be running their damn schools or nothing. Oh my God. They're running amok. And it's not just religions. It's just all these people who forget where they came from. They're above being criticized. Me? You don't think I'm perfect? What is wrong with you? I'm so perfect. Oh my God. Why are you wearing that? It's just a projection thing. It's just anyways. So that Bowen guy just now, Gordo, it puts lotion on its skin, dude. Okay? Is that why we haven't gotten the children's bodies yet? Is he wearing their fucking skin? Or some other Punisher? It's so gross. Monsters are real. They really are. Yeah, there's some hinky shit everywhere. Magical thinking, yeah. I know. I didn't believe I don't like lying to my kids and saying Santa Claus and Tooth Fairy. I'm like, I'm a liar. I don't like that. I don't know. Generational. So just because it's magical doesn't mean it's real and good, right? I get it. I get that. But I don't know. I needed that little cool down. Now I'm going to go look at my text and see if my uncle did die or not. It's my Uncle Ed. And it was really close to him. He actually co-signed for me and my first husband. We had bought a mobile home. We were like 18. And he co-signed. And who co-signs for some damn teenagers just coming out of school, right? He did. But I mean, that's not why. I love my Uncle Ed. I was really close. That's the closest uncle have. I don't know yet. Mom had sent me a text, and it's that tone text, like, have you heard about Uncle Ed? And I'm like, oh, there's that. It's just a tone. So now I got to go and look at my phone and see if or what she replied. Either way, it didn't sound good. But anyways, I love you guys. Thank you for being here and doing this with me. And thank you. Thank you. They did a fake graduation. Yeah. And so that's trafficking. Hello. Hello. that's what I think about Melanie Pulowski with Brandon's. Now, I ran across some initial notes from Gray Hughes. Like my parents did a interview with Gray Hughes in the very beginning. I don't know if y'all remember that. And it was like hearing them for the first time on radio waves or whatever you call this, YouTube. That's how I got introduced to YouTube. And here we are. But and there was a one of the either a mod or just somebody in the chat had written out some notes, and in the notes it said, and so it would have had to have come from my parents, I would think, because it's based off of that interview. It said that they caught Alex on video surveillance, and I was like, I don't remember that, right? And then it said a couple lines later, and I mean, this is just hearsay because it's not corroborated. And I don't know if they knew something then, and then they were like, oh, or what. And it said that Melanie Boudreaux was also caught on video footage. And I was like, I really just didn't picture that would have to be like the two-man team. I don't know. I never did run with that theory. It's definitely possible. I just don't know who would watch her kid unless she did it like, old shit, whatever her name is. The other Mormon girl, Shanna Gardner. I don't even know what's going on with that case. All this has been just consuming my time, which is good. I mean, we learned some things. Thank you. God bless you too, Janelle. Thank you. I really do enjoy and like seeing you here. It makes me feel good. I appreciate you for that, and all of you. So, decompress. Give yourself some self-love. You deserve it, and I deserve it. We all deserve it. Love always wins. It will. It may not in this situation, but it will at the end of the day, at the end of our lives. It's what we do and what we give. And it's not for no damn adrenochromes, and it's not for no freaking pheromones. It's not for nothing in return. Don't expect anything in return, and you're good. Just do it because it feels good for you, right? If everybody did that, would be good. Oh, the shrine of JJ isn't on the fence anymore. I know, they take it down and put it up. And I mean, I appreciate the prices and what they do to allow a memorial fence when my parents go there or when there's something happening. So I'm thankful for that. If it were up to John Pryor, which, I mean, I get the legalities of it. I do. But I'm just like, really, Mother Ever? That's Tammy's house too, She died there. I think she got, free reign right now. Oh my God, I would haunt the hell out of Lori. I would. And Chad. He's missing her cooking. That I find a lot of peace with that. He misses her damn cooking. He misses a lot of things about Tammy. Hims took her for granted, and she was way too much for him. Lori was not enough for my uncle, and her kids are so much bigger and so much smarter and better without her. So much more. They're beautiful, and she couldn't stand that because she cannot stand what's inside, and she took it out. She got that pride, money, power, and sex. It's what every case is about. I don't care who you are. I was like, yeah, that fits. Every case. So you apply that to everything and boom. But anyways, we'll go over this more. I'm going to schedule a live stream for 2:00 Mountain Time on the 10th. So it's Monday now here in Central Time. Anyways, whatever day, I think it's Tuesday, that Chad goes to court for a hearing. Chain gang. We get to see him, how he's doing. We just miss him. Lori's like, hey, don't forget about me. Don't forget about me. I just thought of that too. She always says I've heard that a couple times. Don't forget about me. Don't forget about me. And she's talking about spirits. My family spirits, by the way. We're going to have to, poor spirits. Anyways, they take it down because someone, yeah, they take and wash the stuff, and it's really nice what they do, really. But again, if it were up to Chad Daybell, or as it has been, John Pryor, they go and took it down. But then again, whatever, just mow the whole thing down. I'll go with a big tractor. We'll have a tractor pull there or something. I'm sure we could do something fun. Just mow it down, and then we'll put those solar panels with the light shining up to the heavens, because nothing else can thrive there. Okay. But it's just a reminder to Rexburg that Thundercat ho. No, I'm joking. But the lights to the heavens, and it's a reminder that nobody will ever put their light out. All they did was rob the world, and that is it. And that brings me comfort. So I appreciate y'all. Donna, thank you so much. Are you sleeping? And thank you, Trace on the Case and Beach Bum. You guys are awesome. Yeah, it would be nice. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Love always wins. Justice for Tylee, Charles, Tammy, JJ, and Joe. Oh, love always wins. You are proof of this. I'm sorry.